We are ready to go. Fans still filing in. There are a bunch still trying to get through the gates. Expecting over 30,000 here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Looking for revenge against their hated in-state rivals. And here they come. You gotta squeeze out every little bit of tailgating you can before coming into the stadium. New Mexico is going to get the ball first. And kicking it away for New Mexico State is Dylan Brown.
Unpredictable. That's what I would describe this series and this game, what to expect tonight. And getting some rain, some unexpected rain right before kickoff kind of just fits with the mold of what we're getting into here.
Daryl Chestnut, Elijah Lilly deep to receive for New Mexico. It was scorching hot about 30 minutes ago, 90 degrees. It's cooled off a little bit. The wind is whipping, starting to rain. But we've got a football game, and we've got an opening touchback. And our first look at this New Mexico triple option attack.
This is a unique offense. Now, you've seen this offense run under center. Not many people have seen it run from the shotgun and from the pistol. In fact, so unique. Coaches from around the country have been coming through New Mexico in the offseason to try and learn some of this. I was told Chip Kelly came here in the spring, so maybe he's going to be coaching again down the line. This is some groundbreaking stuff they're doing here under Coach Davey.
Davey said we knew we would have to be unique to win, and the triple option is the great neutralizer, offsetting the ability that other teams have that might have a little bit more talent. He says we don't have the most talent in the world, but we've got an identity and we've got a team that works well together. They won 9 games last season. Would have been 10 had they beaten New Mexico State. And we are underway, and there he is, the Rock, Richard McQuarley.
And as with any option team, it starts with the dive back. You got to get those tough yards inside. It sets up everything else. Once they get him rolling inside, now you're going to see them soften up on the edges, and you'll see him pull the ball out. We'll get some option going on the perimeter.
How would you describe what they do? I mean, so many of us that are used to what Nebraska used to do, what Oklahoma used to do, quarterbacks under center. I mean, we've got diamond formations here from New Mexico.
Well, you can do a lot of different things. Again, the dive is getting them.
That's a fumble, and New Mexico State has it. Tyrone Owens coughs it up, and Stody Bradley with the big play early for the Aggies.
This is exactly what you need if you're New Mexico State. Get your hands on the football. Right there. Poke it out. Exactly what you saw. That was Lomax, Shamad Lomax, making a great play, poking the ball out, creating a turnover in a short field, and we're going to see another explosive offense here with the Aggies.
Lomax, the forced fumble. Bradley, the fumble recovery. And it's 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line for the big arm Tyler Rogers and company. They throw a lot of passes to the boundary. That one incomplete.
Keep an eye, the player to watch here, as we showed that catch in the pregame. Jaleel Scott, number 16, is a hulking wide receiver, and they'll like to get him singled up. They'll do a lot of 3-by-1 formation. They'll try and single him up. Here they're evened up, but he's going to be a target early and often for a big arm quarterback.
Rogers has started the last 4 season openers for New Mexico State. He is seasoned. He knows this rivalry well, and he's coming near side, and he's got his man close to a first down. O.J. Clark, who was the intended receiver on first down, setting up 3rd down and 2.
It's Jacob Gergel in coverage and a little bit soft. Coach Davey told us yesterday he wants his team to be a little bit more firm in coverage, get up on the line of scrimmage and challenge these receivers.
3rd and 2, and they're going shotgun formation. The running back is Larry Rose, and he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage. The Lobos swarming, and now decision time. Is it 4-down territory, or do you trot out Dylan Brown for what would be a 50-plus yard field goal? 52, 53 yards. Looks like they're going for it.
When you're playing against a team that runs the ball as well as New Mexico, you don't know how many possessions you're going to get, so take your shot here. Jaleel Scott singled up at the top of the screen.
3 wide receivers to Rogers' left. He's looking that way. He's got his man. That's a first down. Nicely done. And a conversion. Aganon on the reception.
They're going to get the pace going right back up on the line of scrimmage. Again, you got a soft cushion. This is easy for a veteran quarterback. You're going to give him that cushion. That's an easy conversion.
Josh Aganon out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Used to being at the base of the mountains.
Just look at the cushion he has out here right now.
I told you they toss it, and they're throwing again, complete again. It's O.J. Clark again, and O.J.'s got 6.
They're giving him soft cushion, and they're taking these easy layups. All it takes is one missed tackle. And that's exactly what happened with Jacob Gurgle. They've tried to isolate him a little bit in space. When you watch this football team, he's a little bit stiff, a little bit slow, and that's not a favorable matchup for the Lobos.
30-yard completion. Good run, good blocking downfield, and a great start for New Mexico State. Force a turnover. Uh-oh, this has been the bugaboo for the Aggies. They cannot figure out how to kick a PAT, and we might have two the other way. Jalen Burrell takes it all the way back, and Doug Martin must be beside himself. Martin said before the game, I've never been anywhere where it was so hard to kick a PAT. They missed one last week. And this is worse than a miss because instead of a 7-point lead, it's now just 4.
I'm anxious to see if his knee was down before he tried to throw the football. It was very close. Bang, bang.
What a start to this one. 72-yard fumble recovery and run. And if it stands, New Mexico steals some of that momentum back. We'll take another look at this to see if maybe he was down before he got rid of that football. Oh, that's close.
I thought his backside might have been on the ground before he threw the ball. By the way, don't compound a negative here. Just fall down and live to play another down. Don't give up 2 points.
That was Connor Kramer, the holder, who was trying to throw that. That wasn't good. This was from New Mexico State. O.J. Clark, 30 yards, Daniel.
Yeah, and that's just timing. It's a quick out. It's all off timing, and then you just have to make one defender miss, and he's a lot quicker than Gurgle trying to come up.
It's a better angle to see if Kramer was down before that ball came out.
Like the ball hit the ground and
from
kind
what
of
I've
popped
seen
loose.
here, Daniel, I'm not sure that you can overturn that.
No,
it's got to be conclusive.
I think he set the ball down, and the ball, he lost control of the ball himself.
And you're exactly right. When you have that many problems with the PATs, you don't want to compound it, and that's exactly what they did. It's a baseball score, 6-2, as we take another look. And the ruling has been confirmed. That ball, yes, it hit the ground and then it came out. Wow. But I didn't see any part of the body on the ground. It was just that ball
hovering just above the ground. And a heads-up play by New Mexico. Pick it up, scoop, and score. We said, well, look, we got rain before the game started. We said it was unpredictable. This is about as unpredictable of a start. We get a turnover, we get a quick touchdown, and then we get a 2-pointer going the other way.
How about that? 2 points for Jalen Burrell on special teams out of Riverside, California. Now, New Mexico is known for returning kickoffs to the end zone. 9 kickoff return touchdowns since 2012. Nobody has more in FBS play.
The challenge is in the altitude here is a lot of these kicks are going to go deep into the end zone, so you got to be aggressive and take it out.
Wild and woolly start to this rivalry game, 6-2. And they won't get an opportunity to return this one either. Second look at New Mexico's offense after a Tyrone Owens fumble turned into 6 for New Mexico State. Send it down to Shea Pepler on the sideline with more.
Hey, you guys, you mentioned when Tyrone coughed up that football. Well, I watched him come over to the sideline right after that happened, and I saw some of his teammates go over to him, pat him on the back, dab him up, say, don't let that get to your head. Just play the football that you know. I'm going to bring in Sophia, though, because Sophia has been monitoring these comments. What are people saying after that very exciting opening couple drives?
Well, we have some Lobo fans in here saying that Lobos are going to take it by even maybe 30, but then, we have those loyal Aggie fans in there saying, hey, it was just a mess up, but we'll just have to see. Lobos in here saying that they're going to come in strong with those returns.
All right, guys, let's go back to the action on the field.
That's a pass from Lamar Jordan to Chris Davis, and we saw a lot of that in week 1 against Abilene Christian. Bob Davies said that was more out of necessity because they weren't able to run the ball as well as they wanted to.
Last week, most passing yards in the game since Davey arrived in 2012, so that's not really what they want to do. Kind of got forced into it last week.
And the give straight up the middle. That's Nutt. Daryl Chestnut, the senior. For Bob Davey, who's done maybe the best job that any coach has done rebuilding a program over the last 5 years or so. In his 6th season, won 9 games last year. He inherited a team that had lost 37 of 40.
And he's a young, energized 62-year-old. He has got more energy than even at Notre Dame. He's fired up for this opportunity, and what a turnaround.
Great broadcaster as well. Spent that time between Notre Dame and New Mexico at ESPN. Not much going up the middle. 3 minutes into this game. A lot of action so far. And they are lighting up the scoreboard because of that run game. Scored 37 a game as I round up last season, the most in school history, averaging 456 yards per game. 350 was on the ground.
Yeah, and then look, you travel too. We always say you bring your defense in a run game. Well, they're always going to have their run game no matter where they go.
Bad weather, anything. And they played right here in the bowl game. Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. Under pressure is Jordan, and he finds a man. That's out of the backfield. Daryl Chestnut. First down, New Mexico, and for the first time they are into New Mexico State territory.
Seeing some of the rivalry here, a little chirpy after the play. Nice job extending the play here by Jordan. Didn't have anything, just patient. It's like a scramble drill. Back nose to run across the field, getting your quarterback's vision. Nice job by Chestnut and a great throw by Jordan.
Couple flags, though, came in late.
It got chippy.
And there are some coaches, 3 of them, in fact, including Bob Davey, out on the field.
Well, the quarterback was involved. You had Lamar Jordan squaring up face to face. So this is a pure rivalry game. You're getting a little taste of it here.
And you're in the same state. I mean, it's a little bit different. There are border wars. Those can be great. But these are 2 teams that share the same state, and they are the only 2 teams in this state. As we await word on the call on the extracurriculars. Looks like a call is about to be made, so we'll keep it right here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer with targeting. Number 9, defense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 3. The previous play is under further review.
So that's Stody Bradley, who came up with the fumble recovery, who is called for targeting.
Bradley's a good player. Started 19 games for him. You see him look like he launched.
He did. He definitely hit him. It was close, but it looked like he lowered that helmet, lowered the crown down.
He got him with the crown of the helmet, and now I understand why Lamar Jordan was so upset after that play was over. It was not only the crown of the helmet, it was really late. Just unnecessary.
And that would be a huge loss if this stands. He's ejected. Stody Bradley, the 6'2 senior, starting defensive end, who's already made his presence known, and that fires up Lamar Jordan.
He had a sack last week against Arizona State, and a key player for them up front. And when you're playing a team that wants to run it down your throats in a variety of ways like New Mexico does, you don't want to be losing stud members of your front 7 4 minutes into a football game.
Jason MacArthur is the referee. It's a Sun Belt officiating crew on the field. The replay official is Jeff Hansen. He is out of the Mountain West. So both conferences represented. And while we mentioned the Sun Belt, we should also mention this is New Mexico State's last season in the Sun Belt. They've been kicked out. Be an independent next season. Their hope is that maybe Mountain West comes calling. The Mexico fans will tell you, that ain't happening.
We're good. This is, I mean, we're 4 minutes into the game. This is a key moment here.
And MacArthur with the announcement.
After review, the ruling of targeting against number 9 is confirmed. Number 9 is disqualified. Both the live ball targeting and the unsportsmanlike penalty will be enforced. 15 yards in each direction. The ball will remain where it was. First down.
Oh, that is a big blow for Doug Martin. Stody Bradley, done for the game. Starting defensive end. He will have to exit the sideline, and they are bringing him off the field right now, escorted right in front of the New Mexico students who are giving him an earful. Not a ton of argument from him, though.
I don't know how you can see a replay and argue that one.
Started so promising for New Mexico State. Bradley had the fumble recovery. They marched down, score on a 30-yard touchdown pass, and then as soon as they had to take the extra point, all the air was out of the Aggie balloon. They botched it, fumbled it. New Mexico brought it back for 2, and now they've got it at the 41-yard line of New Mexico State, 46-yard line, beg your pardon, after the walk-off of the penalty.
Look at the formations that you see from New Mexico. They have so much variety in their scheme.
And that one's going straight up the middle. That's Nutt, Daryl Chestnut, the senior. Started his career at Indiana, Daniel.
Yeah, when you study this team defensively, especially looking at last year's game, New Mexico State's going to try and slant up front. They're going to try and get a lot of movement, get on edges, and their linebackers are playing downhill. Look, New Mexico wants to run the football. New Mexico State knows they want to run the football. Last week, you saw New Mexico State turn some guys loose in the passing game down the field. New Mexico, at some point in time, is going to try and take advantage of that, pull the ball out, and try and hit somebody downfield.
2nd down and 9. We're here just 4.5 minutes into this game. And the handoff is up the middle again, and that is a nice shoestring tackle from Terrell Hanks, the Sam linebacker.
Terrell Hanks and Malik Demby are 2 NFL players on this defense. You watch against Arizona State, Terrell Hanks making plays sideline to sideline. He can really, really run. 6'3", 225 pounds. He's got a lot of speed and a lot of range, and his partner, Malik Demby, number 11, is the other one to keep an eye on, coming off a game where he had 2 sacks and 5.5 tackles for loss against a Pac-12 opponent.
3rd down and 8. 44-yard line of New Mexico State for Lamar Jordan and company. Just one running back this time, and he's going to pass it. Steps up in the pocket. Still looking. Throws it over the middle, and it's too high. Had a man open. That was Patrick Reed. Now they'll have to punt.
Great opportunity here. Actually did a nice job of pulling up the linebacker, number 7, Javon Ferguson here. He steps up just a second. Just got to get it up and under. That's a tough throw when you got to go over a linebacker and under a safety. Requires a lot of touch.
Mexico had a golden opportunity. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line after the targeting penalty, but now they have to punt it away. And this is Corey Bojorquez, the senior. Just 1 punt in game 1 against Abilene Christian.
Take a delay penalty.
They will take a delay, get a little bit
Delay
more room.
game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Any wind there is hurting this punt.
The kickers love this altitude, though. The ball, you've seen it on the kickoffs early tonight. You almost want that extra room here. You don't want to bang this thing into the end zone. You want to put your defense in an opportunity to pin these guys deep. A very explosive offense getting ready to come back on the field for the Aggies.
O.J. Clark deep to return. Now punting from the 49-yard line is where the line of scrimmage is. This kick angled to the far side, and it's fair caught at the 20-yard line. So New Mexico State will definitely take that, and they might be second-guessing taking that delay of game penalty, because with that wind in his face, a little hard to get it down there. Speaking of down there, Let's throw it down there. Shea Pepper.
Thank you, Chris. We talked a lot about this rivalry, guys. I talked to both coaches about this. Coach Martin told me you don't need to try to get these players ready for this one because they know the importance of this rivalry, hence the chippiness, and likely had this one circled on their calendar since the game ended last season. Each team will come here to play, he told me, on both sides of the ball, but it will come down to who wins the little battles. That is what will determine the winner in this one. Now, as for Coach Davey talked more about the fan base, and he said he doesn't think this rivalry is anything unique in the fact that it brings out the passion in the fan base, as we see with most in-state rivalries. He also said this is the highest the talent level has been during the rivalry game over the past 6 years. He says it's taken a while to really build that up, but he feels this is the best talent that these people have seen in years to come. And
close to a decade at ESPN. And now the New Mexico head coach, I remember when he took this job, I was wondering, what in the world is Davey doing? I mean, he's got a cush little ESPN thing, going to good games every weekend. Going to New Mexico, they're 3-37 in the last 40.
Really quick.
He wanted an opportunity, and he wanted a challenge, and I don't know if it gets much bigger than this one.
Jay?
Hey guys, really quick, can you check out the stands? Look how crowded it is in here. I'm going to do a 360. You coming with me?
Nope.
Jeremy, come on. Yeah, you are.
We're not coming.
Look at all these fans. You can't see me?
No!
Oh, they're all so excited.
We filled your quota of on-camera appearances.
It's fine.
In that
Next time I'm showing you these fans because they want to be on camera.
Stadium has filled up nicely, Shea, especially on the press box side. Stadium holds about 39,000. Dream Style Stadium, they call it now. First season for that. And the pit where they play basketball, now Dream Style Arena. Dream Style, the donation to the university, $10 million. A
lot of dreaming, a lot of style.
For the naming rights. Oh boy, it's going to be third and long now. Not much doing for New Mexico State on these first two plays. This New Mexico defense trying to stand up tall after allowing that opening possession touchdown.
See if they're going to let Tyler Rogers work in the middle of the field. So far, all his success has been outside the hashes. He has some issues when he gets in high traffic areas. So we'll see if he's going to stay on the edges, if he's going to work the middle of the field.
As one running back, it's his primary back, Larry Rose, who leaks out of the backfield. That was going nowhere fast. Jalen Burrell draping the receiver, and it's a 3-and-out for New Mexico State.
Not a bad start for Burrell. Has a scoop and score for a two-point conversion in perfect position right here. Punch the ball out. Great play. Get your offense back on the field. And after some wildness early in this game, we're starting to settle in a defensive battle, which I did not see coming.
They didn't see that coming in Vegas either. Real high over-under. If you were paying attention to the point spread, it was dropping throughout the week. Opened up at New Mexico -13, and by kick time, it was down to about a touchdown. Fair catch. New Mexico will start at its own 26-yard line. We're not even halfway through the first quarter. And how did we get to 6-2? A New Mexico State touchdown, a botched extra point, and New Mexico brought it back for 2 points. We are at altitude. New Mexico over 5,000 feet. Now this isn't just like Mountain West levels here. This is for the whole country. These are the highest elevations of any FBS schools, and New Mexico is number 5 on the list.
They remind you when you go to Wyoming too, there's signs everywhere that say welcome to 7,000 feet.
Get your oxygen. Rock, push back. Not much doing. Shea, what you got?
Hey guys, all right, do you got me now? Am I here?
We
Can
got
see
you.
Me? Here I am. I'm ready to show you the stands now. You guys, look around. Look how many people are here. People were trying to wave, trying to get on camera. You're not doing the 360.
Yeah,
with me, Jeremy,
we need to get an owl down there or something. Let's turn that puppy around.
Every time I'm trying to show you guys the stands, they just go out and play football. Like
hey!
We're trying to enjoy a game or something. I don't understand.
It is packed on the press box side. This is always the highest attended game of the year for both these teams. And Jordan's going to throw it, has his man right over the middle. And Chris Davis with a first down.
This is what they do. We just talked about it a little bit ago. They hit you with that dive, and then they pull it out, and you get a big chunk play down the middle of the field. That was a beautiful throw.
Bob Davie said Now we can throw it a little bit more, and we do have an injury. An injured New Mexico State Aggie. Maybe said they have the most talent that they've had at the wide receiver position, especially with number 2, Delaney Hart Johnson, back after missing 2016 after a car accident. And that's Jacob Wangwa, who was on the tackle there.
This could be big news for this football team too, because look at Wangwa here. His head gets him right there on the tailbone. You got to remember, Jaden Wright, the other starting safety, is not playing, so they could be without both starting safeties. You saw it right there, right in the back, the small of the back.
And not to mention their starting defensive end, Stody Bradley, who was ejected early on in this game for targeting.
Good, he just popped up. That's good news.
Walking under his own power. And there's the Lobo. Hey, they used to have a wolf pup here. Now they go with Lobo Louie, the mascot. Had a live wolf pup on the sidelines back in the 1920s until a kid teased it and it bit him.
Yeah, that'll end that one.
They brought it back though in the 80s until it nipped at a player. So instead we're stuck with a dude in a costume instead of a cute little wolf pup. There's a pitch wide, and Tyrone Owens, who had the fumble earlier, holds onto it, and that makes Lobo Louie happy.
Lobo Louie got the side tongue working. Do you want to go lovable Lobo Louie, or is that too much?
Looks like he might have had a little bit too much. Look at his eyes. Those are dilated pupils right there, my friends.
The eyes, the tongue.
Alan asks on Facebook, what's a Lobo? Glad you asked. Lobo is the Spanish word for wolf. The chant is, everyone's a Lobo, woof, woof, woof. You'll hear it at some point tonight. And Jordan's going to throw it again. This time steps up in the pocket, gets across the line of scrimmage, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Guess who made the play? Malik Demby.
Demby had 5.5 tackles for loss last week, #1 in the nation. Owens, 8 yards per carry. That was the most last season. Got to hang on to the football, though.
And this is Demby, who was listed as a backup safety early season. Now they put him up close to the line of scrimmage, where his speed is a huge asset.
Illegal substitution on New Mexico. Hey, we just got called out for the first time. Mark it 6:23 in the first quarter for being homers on Facebook. We're homers. I'm not sure for who. Probably for New Mexico, since we were talking about Lobo Louie. I can promise you we're not homers. I'm from Iowa. Daniel, you're from?
I'm from San Diego.
San Diego.
We can do some Aggie talk. We get some Aggie mascot information here before we...
Oh, look at us. We're showing New Mexico fans. Oh, boy. Just feeding into it.
I believe I saw Sam Darnold here, by the way. It's nice of him to come out here to the game. Sitting out that
What's he doing?
Stanford.
Hey.
Sam?
Thank you.
With the sunglasses on?
If you're that big of a fan, aren't you? Are you here for this game?
Well,
are you watching the other game?
Probably got his device. Could have just gone to the USC game and watched this game on Facebook on his device. That is a sack. And that is a lot of muscle. That's Mr. Hanks.
It's a 2-man band when you watch this defense. It's Terrell Hanks and it's Malik Demby, and they take turns. They're both physical. They are both explosive. That was an up and under move on Avery Jordan, the tackle. And these are NFL. These are Sunday players. And those are Sunday arms.
Yes, they are. 7 sacks last week. Last season, they only had a dozen sacks all year. 7 sacks, second most in the country in week 1. Good boot this time. And that's a fair catch inside the 10. That's usually a no-no. And they will have to start deep in their own territory, will the New Mexico State Aggies. Back down to the field and Shea.
Hey guys, really quick, Jacob Wanga did leave the field. I saw him walk back with a couple trainers. As soon as they come out and give me an update, I will let you guys know if he's going to return or not, okay?
Thank you, Shea.
Can we find out if our Aggie is happier with us now? Because I think we gave a lot of love right there.
We were told that to prove that we're not homers, we need to say Aggie up.
Okay.
So on the count of 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Aggie up. And now we're homers the other way.
I think it's nice we have a second home. You know, you're a homer, but we have 2 homes, so that's not a bad thing.
New Mexico, not a bad place to be, right here at the base of the Sandia Mountains. Got an aunt and uncle that live in town.
Nice. Like dinner last night?
Nope, I don't have time to see them. I'm calling a football game, brother.
I hear you. By the way, long story, but lady spilled hot chocolate on me on the flight in here today.
Oh my!
Who drinks hot chocolate when you're going to New Mexico?
90 degrees. Yeah, I doubt that guy's going to be, or gal, inside the costume is going to be drinking any hot liquid. It is hot inside there. Lobo Louie getting a lot of FaceTime early on. 6-2, 5:36 to go here in the first quarter. New Mexico State capitalizing off an early first possession turnover from New Mexico with a touchdown, botched the extra point, and it was returned 2 points the other way. New Mexico's defense has been steadily improving for Bob Davie and company. Not great, but when you've got an offense that puts up those kind of yards on the ground, it doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be good, and it has been this year so far.
And look, they've made drastic improvements on the offensive side of the ball, and they're steadily getting better defensively.
All right, 1st and 10 for New Mexico State. Tyler Rogers and company. 3 wide to the left. And that's where he's going. Oh, and OJ gets lit up. Stanley Barnwell Jr. with the stick.
We're a long way from the field, and that hurts. That hurt my soul, what Stanley Barnwell just did right here. Wow. Might be fortunate he didn't get a helmet-to-helmet right there.
Sure, some people on Twitter will be commenting on that. Aggie fans who have seen their starting defensive end keep them coming on Facebook, baby. Tyler Rogers has his man. That's Jonathan Boone.
That is a long
first
throw.
down.
He does this a lot when you watch him. He's on one hash throwing all the way across the field. You have to have a huge arm.
Oh. Facebookers are loving that.
That still hurt.
That pass was good enough for a first down, and now Rogers is setting up to throw down the seam, and it's juggled and caught! Isaiah Lottie all the way 81 yards. How about that concentration?
We talked about Tyler Rogers forcing some balls in the middle of the field, which is exactly what he just did. But this time the ball takes a friendly bounce, locks on in the middle, forces the football. Got a chance to be picked off, but Parker lets it go right through his hands. And how about the concentration by Lottie to pull that in?
And now we see if New Mexico State can do the impossible. They've done it. A PAT converted right down the middle. And it's 13-2. Really should be 14-0, Daniel Jeremiah. This New Mexico State team, a touchdown underdog on the road against a New Mexico team that won 9 games a season ago, has come in here and stunned this home crowd.
And that ball should have been picked off by Parker, but then Burrell comes in. He's got to at least secure the tackle. So you have 2 miscues here by the Lobos. You can't throw your shoulder. You got to wrap him up and get him on the ground. But again, you got to give Lottie a lot of credit. I'll give Lottie a lot of credit.
Isaiah Lottie, 81 yards for the touchdown. The redshirt sophomore out of Denver.
I thought that was going to be for sure an interception and potentially even a pick 6. There was a lot of grass there for Parker. Just couldn't pull the ball in.
New Mexico with all kinds of success last season at 9-4, 6-2 in the Mountain West. They split the division title, lost a complicated tiebreaker, while New Mexico State went 3-9 for a second straight season, 2-6 in the Sun Belt, and the Sun Belt says adios. I don't know. Maybe after this season, the way they performed against Arizona State, the way they're performing right now, the Sun Belt says, we might want you after all. Isaiah Lottie off the deflection, taking advantage of critical mistakes. That one and the fumble on the opening possession by Tyrone Owens and New Mexico State. We told you they'd throw it all over the lot. New Mexico, not a team that is built to come from behind.
One thing about them, though, they will stay with their ground attack for a long time. They won't abandon it.
And we mentioned the wind. Every kick has gone through the end zone to this direction. And you see the logo on that bottom flag there, on the New Mexico flag. That is the logo that is on the helmets tonight for the New Mexico Lobos. It's the Zia Sun, tribute to the American Indians. Zia Pueblo actually went to the tribe, asked their permission a few years ago to wear that on the helmets for select games. They usually only do it on special occasions against their rivals from Las Cruces. Rogers pitches, and a few yards there. The nut, Daryl Chestnut, scoots ahead. Positive yardage on first down, pick up a 4.
Dyson Chimura with a nice block there, the tight end with the kick out. And that name probably sounds familiar to some Packer fans. Yes, that's Mark Chimura's son, and it's definitely the family business. He's got a brother playing tight end at Michigan State.
Mark Chimura. My gosh, he was a good tight end in the 90s. Go to the Packers Hall of Fame. I hated him as a Bears fan. That's a keeper. Lamar Jordan. Oh, he gets stuck short of the first down, and tempers flaring again. Shamad Lomax picked him up and buried him.
Lomax is a 5'10", 200-pound corner, but he is physical. Looking to press off the block and then finish the tackle. This is something he does consistently. Lomax is one tough dude.
He's just a sophomore. 3rd down and 3. Big moment here for New Mexico. Down 13-2. Jordan to throw it, and that's not even close. Intended for Chris Davis. And it's all New Mexico State right now.
I think that's a rundown. I think that should be a rundown for New Mexico. For most teams, you're in that situation, 3rd and 3. You're going to throw the football. They have a much better chance of converting with this offense when they keep the ball on the ground.
It's danger time now. The way this New Mexico State team can put up points, if they can march down the field again, they're going to take this crowd completely out of the game. And again, punting into the wind is Corey Bojorquez. And this one will drop. It hits somebody. Uh-oh. That might be New Mexico football. They're conferring. New Mexico's got it. At least they came out of there with it. Question is, did it hit an Aggie?
Anthony Muse, 21 for New Mexico State. He acted like it hit him because he went right back down for the ball. Yeah, he makes an effort to go right for the football. He knew it hit him. You see the flight of the ball? It hit New Mexico first.
A New Mexico player first. So they got it right. The call is illegal touching. It is not New Mexico football. That is the right call. The Sun Belt crew conferred, and you can see it plain as day right off the noggin.
Is that Parker? It looks like it's going to hit Parker's helmet. That's a big break. That could have turned this game around in a hurry.
Zahn Parker, certainly not his fault. Just a bad break. Had that not hit his helmet, that might have hit an Aggie, and that might be New Mexico football. They are going to review this. There's not much to review.
Clearly hit him.
We've already shown it to you. I don't even think Aggie fans on Facebook, or New Mexico fans rather, could argue that. As soon as it hits a member of the kicking team, nothing bad can happen to the receiving team. Only good things. The receiving team, the Aggies, could have picked that up and ran with it. And sometimes we see that.
No risk.
As soon as it hits, you can do whatever you want.
It's a nice little pinball off the helmets. Boom, boom.
sense the breaks in this game going to the Aggies at this point. The fumble going to them. The interception, the would-be interception for New Mexico, tipped into the air, resulting into the 81-yard touchdown pass. And now this.
And you look at New Mexico State in this game, they've had one run back for 2. They've lost 2 defensive starters already in the game, and here they find themselves up 13-2.
2 defensive starters.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, New Mexico State.
2 defensive starters Daniel's referencing. Jaden Wright, the starting strong safety, who's not playing tonight, and Stody Bradley, starting defensive end, who was ejected for targeting way back in the early portions of this quarter. First and 10, New Mexico State. See if they go for the jugular. Rogers still buying time, still looking, and finally is taken down. Austin Ocasio finally showed up and showed him to the turf.
Isaiah McLean had a decleating block as good as you'll ever see on a broken play. The right tackle for New Mexico State just unloaded on somebody.
Lost a few yards there, so it's second down and 14. Whistles and flags. A false start. It'll be second down and 19 after this call. Let's take another look at the pancake block. You can never have too many pancakes.
This is a tackle's dream. When you get these peel back situations, it's a broken play. The quarterback's scrambling around. He's going to be the right tackle. You're going to see him 77. As he comes back this way, keep your eye right. Boom!
Oh, boy. As Rose picking his way, evading a couple tackles, still spinning, still working. Strong run back to the original line of scrimmage, setting up a third down that is manageable here. A third down that they could possibly get. 3rd and 10.
Rose is a good runner, pulls through a tackle. He's got great change of direction and balance.
Trips to the far side, 2 to the near, empty formation. A 3-man rush. That's caught by Jaleel Scott. He dives close to the first down. That is really close.
Looked like he was a little bit short.
I think you might be right, Daniel. They haven't stopped the clock, and in fact, they've signaled 4th down.
Wow, are they going to go for this right here?
I wouldn't argue with it.
On your own? No, they're not doing that. On your own 37 with a 2-score lead. I think that's a smart move.
Hey, if I'm playing Madden, PlayStation, I'm going for it. I understand this is real life, though. And they will punt it away. They still do have the win,
Timeout.
which may have weighed into the decision. But a timeout is called by New Mexico State.
30-second
Perhaps because they took too long with the offense on the field to decide. That's Doug Martin. Now, he is a 1985 Kentucky graduate, started some games at quarterback for Kentucky in the early 80s. He's a quarterback whisperer. He was at Kent State as the head coach from 2004 to 2010. So Julian Edelman was his quarterback there at Kent State.
Yeah, actually got a lot out of Julian Edelman at the quarterback position. And he's creative. That's what I love about him. You'll see some unique stuff. We've talked about New Mexico's offense. New Mexico State, you'll see a lot of quarterback movement. Try to be balanced. They can beat you up in the run game, and then they will be aggressive, and you'll see them take a lot of deep shots down the field. By the way, Jaleel Scott, I believe that's his first catch of the day. Finally got him involved here.
First time we've mentioned him since showing that incredible catch last week at Arizona State. They will punt it away. Back deep to receive is Chris Davis. That is a short punt. And that does not take a good New Mexico State bounce. Somebody better pick that up, because New Mexico could have picked it up and scooted the other way. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line now for New Mexico, in need of a drive. Only 2 points of the game. by virtue of an extra point that was botched. The snap was bad. Tried to make something out of nothing. Holder fumbled it. New Mexico picked it up, went the other way for 2.
They've got to get their dive going a little bit. When they can get the big back, when they can get Rock McQuarrie rolling a little bit, that's when this offense can gather some steam. It all bases off that inside run.
Good field position. Man in motion, and there's that option. They'll throw it into the flat. That's Chris Davis. That's solid yardage on first down, likely to be the final play of the first quarter.
If you're New Mexico State, though, you want them to do that. You get New Mexico throwing the football on first down, you feel good about it.
All New Mexico State after 1. But remember, Stody Bradley, the defensive end, was ejected early on in this game. Already without starting strong safety Jaden Wright.
Commercials are for losers, let's be honest.
Whistles before the snap. Head down to the field. Shea Pepper with more on Terrence Mathis. Shea?
Hey guys, so I'm going to speak to Terrence Mathis at halftime, so don't go anywhere. We'll have an interview for you, but also people are, look at all these things in my hand. People are drinking out of these Terrence Mathis cups today here at the stadium. Again, apologize for my phone and all my notes in my hand. I also have a slight injury update for you. Jacob Wanga is back out. He is dressed and he's on the bike warming up. I have no update from a trainer, but I would assume if he's on the bike and in full pads that he will return in the game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Shea. Look forward to the conversation with Terrence Mathis at halftime. You'll have to ask him about that wind gust.
Little spill.
At an inopportune time. There's the pitch. And Chestnut gets a little. But this New Mexico State defense has been pretty good.
They're fast. I mean, you see it when they try and go to the perimeter. You can see this Aggie defense flow with a lot of speed, especially at the linebacker position.
They gave up 79 rushing yards last week to Arizona State on 40 carries.
And that's with Arizona State having to back Kalen Ballage. It's probably going to be a top 3-round pick in the NFL draft, so no slouch there.
3rd down and 5. New Mexico's got to get something going on offense. The pitch out wide. Chestnut again has the first down. Maybe that will get this Lobo offense going.
And this is what we talked about earlier. You get the dive going, then you can get outside on the perimeter. And when you get in these 3rd and 5 or less, I think their odds are much greater running the football, pitching the football, running this option, and getting the drive rolling. They haven't thrown the ball very well. It's really windy out here. I don't know if we're going to see the ball up in the air all that much on this drive right here.
Mexico State had twice as many yards as New Mexico in the first quarter. New Mexico only 22 rushing yards on 12 carries. Right up the middle, the dive play, and Tyrone Owens has 8 yards on first down. When you get 8 yards on first down and you're a triple option team, that spells doom for the defense.
And this is exactly what they do. They get a nice surge and a nice push up front. You put yourself in a great opportunity now where you can get creative if you want, but I think you're going to see them just continue to try and smash the ball down the Aggies' throats right here.
Three running backs in the backfield. It goes to Rock McQuarrie. He's got another first down to the 31-yard line, a pickup of 9.
And that's a zone read. We talked about the option, but that's just a great read by the quarterback. Lamar Jordan gives it. If he keeps it, he's going to get splattered by Malik Demby. Great read.
I don't know about you. I don't want to be a quarterback in a triple option offense. That is just way too much contact. You have to be tough. Lamar Jordan, 6 foot, 192.
I think people realize how many decisions you have to make in the run game.
Split second when you know you're going to get hit too. 1st and 10, and he's going to throw it. He's going to throw it deep. The wind pushing it out the back of the end zone. Incomplete.
got to see this again because this is something New Mexico does up front. You watch the offensive line, they don't move. They snap the ball, but there's no movement by the offensive line. They hope they're going to be a lull from the defense, and they try and take a deep shot. They've done this a bunch when you watch them. Look, they're all standing there. It's the weirdest looking thing when they do it, but they try and just get you to hesitate defensively, and they're going to take a deep shot down the field. But as a quarterback, I kind of like my guys to stand up and try and fight a little bit for me up front.
The intended receiver was a new Samoya. Instead, it's 2nd down and 10. They'll look to throw it again. Jordan steps up, now throws, has a man. That's another 1st down. That's Chris Davis, who's been big in this game, had 3 catches for 55 yards in the opener.
That's all the quarterback. This is all Lamar Jordan. He gets the pressure from Hanks, climbs up in the pocket, squares his shoulders, makes a nice throw.
There is a penalty marker down, though. A marker down at the line of scrimmage.
Got hit from behind again after that throw.
Might be. The Lobos are certainly signaling the other way like this is going on New Mexico State.
Roughing the passer. Late hit, number 2 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
It's Terrell Hanks late.
You saw he missed him initially, then he tried to work back around and get to him, laid out and just kind of clipped his legs.
That's tough, though, because as he went down to go low to trip him up,
you can't see him
he
throw it.
still had the ball in his hands. It's a tough call. Ball placed just inside the 7-yard line. New Mexico's greatest opportunity to score so far in this game. Down 13-2. Only points on a PAT run back.
This is rock time. This is time for some McQuarley.
Instead, it's Ramel Jordan. Down to the 5-yard line. Ramel, also a senior, just like McQuarley. He's not nearly as big, 5'9", 173. McQuarley is up over 220.
Talked to somebody who was at practice yesterday and said McQuarley did a standing backflip, 225 pounds. That's just an athletic
freakish.
move.
18 touchdowns last season for Rock McQuarley. And he is to Jordan's right. The give is to the Rock. And he is stood up. The Rock runs into a wall. And it's 3rd and goal from the 5.
These linebackers are playing downhill with no regard for the pass, and they are attacking the line of scrimmage against this run game. There's a lot of speed and a lot of athleticism. Watch him just fill right here. Boom! Number 7, that's Javon Ferguson. What a beautiful tackle.
And now 3rd and goal, likely a passing situation for the Lobos. McQuarley in the backfield. A one-handed catch nearly made in the end zone, but it's incomplete. So close, but Delaney Hart-Johnson could not bring it in.
Delaney Hart-Johnson, one on the route. He's got position.
That would have been nearly as good as the catch last week on the other side of the ball from Jaleel Scott.
That's just too bad. That's a slant. That should be an easy completion for Jordan right there. I know it's windy out here, but he's got to make that throw.
It is a 23-yard field goal attempt from Jason Sanders, one of the best kickers in the country. The snap is high. The kick is good. Some changes around the athletic department here in Albuquerque with more. 5. What a score. Field goal and a 2-pointer off a run back miss PAT for New Mexico. A couple of touchdowns for New Mexico State. And the Aggies right back on offense. Aganon picking up 6 on 1st down.
The offensive line for New Mexico State's done a nice job. They got sacked a bunch in that Arizona State game last week. So far, they've held up well against the Lobos.
It's Jordan Flack, linebacker, coming out, shaken up just a little bit. And Alex Hart, the heart of this defense, making a nice play in the backfield to set up a 3rd down and 5.
Alex Hart's a good football player. He's got that wrestling background, 2-time state champ in high school, and a real physical downhill player.
Said he came here because he knows all about New Mexico turning out linebackers like Brian Urlacher. When Urlacher was here, he also returned punts, as many of you remember. What an athlete. 3rd and 5. And Rogers is going up top. It's caught. That is the long, lanky Jaleel Scott.
That's what he does. I talked about him being a power forward. He's just going to use his size, wall off the corner. Look at how much air is put on the ball by Rogers. Just give him a chance. He wins a lot of those. We call them 50-50 balls. He wins a lot of them.
Doug Martin said he worked as hard as anybody in the offseason. Didn't have a huge year last year, just a couple touchdowns on 8 receptions. What a start to the season for him. Into the flat. Shifty move from Jason Huntley, who picks his way for 4. Let's go back to that catch one more time, Daniel.
Yeah, look, there's 3 NFL scouts here tonight. There was a bunch that saw him at Arizona State, and when you have somebody that's north of 6'5" and has hands like Scott does, you're going to draw a lot of interest from the next level. And again, just put as much air under it as you can. The bigger man's going to win.
26-yard conversion on 3rd and 5. Rogers to throw again, has all day, and Scott did a nice job of evading what would have been a huge hit. Not much of a pickup, but he's already surpassed what he did last season.
This is a big down here. Mexico trying to get off the field, get that offense back, and get back in this football game, but looks like you got one-on-one coverage with your best receiver at the bottom of the screen.
Another 3rd down, 3rd and 4. And that's enough for the 1st down, and then some, but the ball is out. And it's picked up by, guess who? Jake Rothschiller, the reigning Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week.
New Mexico needed a big play defensively, get this thing rolling, and anytime they need a big play, it's number 28 that more than likely is going to be the one that makes it. Nice throw completion, get the 1st down. See it right here, he's low and then come in late. That's a defensive lineman efforting to get down there. Looks like Jermaine Conyers, just a pure hustle play by defensive lineman. Look at that big defensive lineman getting down there and poking the ball out.
Oh boy, and O.J. Clark coughing it up. Ross Schiller right there, the ball hawk, had a forced fumble and an INT return for a touchdown last week, and now New Mexico has positive yardage on 1st down. Pickup of 8 for Chestnut.
See if they try and get a little bit more of pace going here with this. They've got a nice rhythm now in this run game. Quick pitch, great read. Saw Demby come in there, and Jordan had to make a quick decision. You got to think on your toes, man, in this offense.
We'll call it a gain of 9 on 1st down. 2nd and 1. For Lamar Jordan and company. Jordan pitches. The ball is on the ground, and it's recovered by New Mexico State. And that's Malik Demby.
He's in the backfield every play, and he's coming 100 miles an hour, and those are those quick decisions you have to make, and you make any kind of a mistake. We saw it with Arizona State last week, and now we see the ball on the ground, and Demby's right there. Watch, he's unblocked, because he's the pitch man. You got to pitch off of him. But as soon as the ball hits the ground, there's nothing between Demby and the football.
McQuarrie took his eyes off the ball. He was looking up as he was trying to secure it. And it's another lost fumble in their own territory for the New Mexico Lobos. Owens coughed one up to start the game. New Mexico State turned it into 6. See what the Aggies do here. It's a give, and it's not much. Larry Rose might have gotten a couple 3 yards for number 3. 3rd all-time in school rushing yardage. Top 5 active FBS rusher. About 3,700 yards on the ground.
Got one-on-one with his guy.
And he'll win that every time, will Jaleel Scott, though he was out of bounds. Could not get a foot down, but that was way too easy to jump up and snatch that.
I don't know why you wouldn't do that every time. When they do this 3-by-1 formation, he's singled up on the backside, short side of the field, and he's just got the size advantage over anybody who's going to play this year.
pushed out a little bit there. Smart play from Elijah Lilly. 3rd down and 7. Impossible 4-down territory. This is into the wind. Uh-oh.
Somebody jumped.
Flags before the play. It's getting a little loud in here.
False start. Offense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
One of the things we haven't seen yet today is Tyler Rogers take off. When you watch the game last year, he got out of some trouble, made a couple plays with his legs. He's been content to sit back there and throw it around, but that's something to keep an eye on as we move forward.
From 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 12 for New Mexico State. 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. New Mexico sending 4. And that's Rose, and Rose picks up the 1st down. They found the soft spot in the middle of that defense. That is inexcusable on 3rd and long, Daniel.
But that's heads-up play by the quarterback. Throwing underneath the sticks, he gets pressure. Got a little back out of the backfield with a lot of speed in Larry Rose. Got a defense sinking, trying to protect the sticks. Rose just too fast. That's a smart heads-up play by the quarterback. Never go broke taking a profit.
The running back now is Huntley. He gets the call, hops over a man, flag in the backfield. Huntley shoved out after a gain of 2 or 3. This one likely is coming back.
And they got Trujillo there, left guard, 78, backfield.
Again, a Sunbelt crew. And it is holding on the offense. Checking with Bob Davie to see if he wants to decline. I'm sure he doesn't.
Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 1st down.
Interesting helmets for the Aggies. They don't have their mascot on there, Pistol Pete. They've got the guns, the pistols. Love their guns down here in New Mexico. In fact, this is the only state where I've shot a gun, thanks to my uncle.
Nice.
It was not fun. It was not fun. Never do it again.
How'd that go for you?
We were shooting at washing machines out in the desert. My mom was not happy. I was a teenager. Anywho.
Whose washing machine?
Someone had just dropped it off out in the desert. I'm talking middle of the desert.
It's just, I'd expect to see a cactus in the middle of the desert. I don't know I necessarily expect to see a washing machine.
I didn't see any cacti. 2nd and 20. Rogers has his man. Drew Dan incomplete. Rogers says, oh, look at that.
He's putting a lot of air under the deep ball today.
Another 3rd and long. They converted on 3rd and long last time. But this is 3rd and 20. And maybe you think about taking a chunk here, 10, 15 yards to set up a possible field goal into the wind. Although they've had all kinds of issues with PATs, I don't even know if they're going to try a field goal. There's Scott to the 21-yard line. They do pick up 15. And they are running out the field goal unit. Dylan Brown, 1 for 2 this season, kicking field goals. A bad extra point, not his fault though. It was a bad snap.
Confidence meter 1 to 10. Where are you at right now with this field goal attempt?
I'm going 40% he makes it, 60% he doesn't. It's from 39 yards, and it is good. How about that? Dylan Brown.
Just need a little doubt. We just need to doubt him a little bit, and then
just back him up on PATs, and they'll be just fine. It's 16-5. What a quirky game and a quirky rivalry. That's what Bob Davie called it. It is a quirky state.
All right, they couldn't even get the net all the way up.
I don't think they thought they might need it. It's a big school, about 27,000 enrolled. Whoa, that's a swip kick. And I guess it works. We'll start at the 25-yard line.
Quirky? Is that our name?
Yeah.
Our word for the day?
Hey, Bob Davie mentioned it when we talked to him a couple days ago. He said, this is a quirky state, guys. Quirky things happen in this game. And quirky things just happen in rivalry games, period. Lamar Jordan and company had some success last time down, but were unable to convert a touchdown. Had to settle for 3. New Mexico the favorite in this game, but they were the favorites last season down in Las Cruces, and they got beat. Out of the backfield, initiating the contact, Tyrone Owens.
Lomax is not shy, though. Lomax will stick his face in the fan every single time. It's about his 3rd big hit for the corner.
That's why you wear pads and a helmet, I guess.
Holding offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty in the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
It's Ray Baylor III making his first start tonight. 6'3" senior. Bunch of penalties in this game. New Mexico leading the way with 6 for 45 yards.
Got penalties, we've had big hits, we've had turnovers,
ejections,
we've had all kinds of fun.
Third and 12. Jordan had nobody home.
You got to see that rush from Cedric Wilcox. Talked about him missing the tackle in the backfield just a second ago, the defensive end for the Aggies. But you talk about putting a tackle on skates and just bull rushing right through somebody. Put him right in the quarterback's lap. You see on the left side of the screen.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's not having breaks.
Cedric Wilcox II. Those bullhorns out. He saw red. That red jersey of Lamar Jordan enforced a hurried pass. And now they'll punt it. And this is a really good kick. Bouncing inside the 20 and into the end zone. Punting with the wind. And they'll take it. New Mexico State defense has been uber impressive so far tonight.
Look at that. We've talked about how fast this New Mexico State defense is, and don't sell them short on their physicality either. And 5 points, really, you've given up 3 points.
Correct. Special teams gave up the 2-pointer on the bad snap on the first PAT try of the game.
See how aggressive the Aggies are going to be here. They've got a 11-point lead here as we come down to the close of half. They're going to be aggressive, or are they going to try and get to halftime?
I keep the pedal to the metal, and that's incomplete. I just keep on chugging away. That's what they do best. Last year, Rogers only threw for 205. Tonight, he's already thrown for 222.
Not a math major, but he's going to throw for a lot of yards tonight.
He came in one of the nation's leaders in passing yardage after throwing for 398 against Arizona State, and well, that was no man's land. Cody Baker
false start,
charging
offense.
through,
number 76,
but it was because he saw some movement.
Still 2nd down.
I think he was a little worried there when there were no whistles blown at first when he went charging through. But that'll back him up. It's now 2nd and long, and now if you're New Mexico, you're hoping, okay, let's stop him here, get him off the field, have them punt into the wind from deep in their own territory, and make this a 1-possession game going into halftime.
Look where the corners are now. They're all pressed up. All that soft coverage we saw earlier, trying to take those easy completions away.
It's just too easy, though, with Jaleel Scott.
So this is what you're going to do when you get press coverage. You're going to throw these back shoulder fades. They're going to check up underneath you. You want to play off. If you want to come up and press us, that's fine. We're going to push you vertical, and we're going to show our timing between a veteran quarterback and a veteran receiver and connect on a back shoulder fade. And now they're back off again, so it's a cat and mouse game.
And he's got all day to throw. Winds up down the left sideline. Incomplete. But a flag is out. D'Angelo Ross on the coverage. Pass intended for Josh Aganon.
Had a wheel route, double move, and had some separation.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
D'Angelo Ross bit. It was a wheel route, so he gives him a look to the flat and turned it up the field. Ended up getting a 15-yard penalty.
They had second 15 from their own 15 a couple plays ago. And now 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line, and a chance to put some daylight between themselves and their rivals. That one went whistling behind Drew Dan.
Almost had a blown coverage there. If he could have put that on him, he would have scored.
I don't think Dan saw it.
They had a corner came off or blitz there, and the inside defender was late getting over there.
Hence the quick fire pass, and Dan just not ready. That pass is complete, and solid yardage on 2nd down. Connor Kramer. Now Connor Kramer's the holder who made that mistake on the PAT where he fumbled, and New Mexico ran it back for 2. 3rd and 6. Clock running. 3:40 to play in the first half. In what has been an entertaining game so far, the underdogs on top on the road, and they've got another first down. Drew Dan. This looks like a mismatch when they're out there on offense against this Lobo defense, Daniel.
Yeah, they spread you out, so they're going to find one-on-one matchups, and if you're going to give them cushion, they're going to take these gimmies all day long. That play, you didn't even have your best receiver out on the football field, Jaleel Scott.
He went right to the sticks. They give him the first down. 1st and 10, 42-yard line. Now, he could have gotten back.
Didn't give any effort. All he's got to do is just get back.
Austin Ocasio crossed the line of scrimmage and
Offside. Defense number 6. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
kind of threw a little temper tantrum. He could have gotten back because he hadn't touched anyone yet.
He gave up.
So it's 1st and 5, and now the playbook is wide open. Rodgers to throw again. First down and a fumble. Got it back. No, he didn't. It's loose. And I think New Mexico State is on top of it. Jaleel Scott saves his teammate Jason Huntley from a really costly fumble.
And they're in scoring zone here right now. This is a huge play. They get Rothschiller outflanked here. He's got a long way to go, but he shows his hustle, efforts over there, forces the fumble, and it was around there forever. Good effort by Scott.
1st and 10, 17-yard line, 2:30 to play in the first half. New Mexico State looking left. It's caught. Isaiah Lottie with his 2nd touchdown of the game. How did he squirt through? Yakety yak. But we do have a penalty marker.
I thought we had a face mask on the defense when he scored.
2 flags, in fact.
But then another one came out.
Yeah, one at the goal line, and another came out late at the 21-yard line, back behind the line of scrimmage.
It's the 2nd time they've scored on a quick out and just make somebody miss.
Lottie scored on that 81-yard pass on the deflection early in this game. We might have a roughing the passer here. And it has fallen apart for New Mexico in this first half. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Najee Flowers was the one that blew up Tyler Rodgers well after the pass. And his Sunbelt crew trying to sort things out. Remember, New Mexico State lost at Arizona State. They were down big in the second half of that game and then made it a game. Cut it to 6 in the final minutes and had a chance, if they had gotten a stop, to win that game in Tempe.
And really, when you watch that game, they look like the faster, more athletic team than their Pac-12 foe.
Well, Doug Martin said we won every part of that game except on the scoreboard. Bob Davie now getting an explanation from the officiating crew and referee Jason MacArthur.
Mexico might have more penalties than points.
They do. At least 7. And just 5 points. Let's get on to Shay. What do you have for us?
Hey guys, well, remember when we talked to Coach Davie earlier this week? He said this is what he was afraid of. New Mexico State putting up a ton of points. He said last season after these two teams faced each other, they went and played Kentucky and put up 46 points.
On the play. Personal foul, face mask. Number 3 on the defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the head coach of New Mexico State. That penalty will also be enforced on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
A lot of calls there, guys, but really quick. So that was something that
is the first unsportsmanlike foul for the head coach of New Mexico State.
Wow, that is crazy. Okay, so lots going on. I'm going to let you guys discuss this, and we can continue this conversation later on. But this is exactly what Coach Davie was afraid of, was my point. Back to you.
Well, if there's a face mask enforced on the kickoff, and then a penalty going back the other way on the kickoff, don't they just offset?
15 up, 15 down. That's what I would think.
The extra point is good. It's 23-5, New Mexico State in Albuquerque. 9 different receivers for the Aggies have caught a pass. 2:22 to go in the first half, and it might be critical here for New Mexico to get something going into halftime. It's an 18-point lead. That's 3 possessions. At least if you can get down and get a field goal, you cut it to a 2-possession game.
You shouldn't have to get it down very far. You got a great kicker, and you're going to have the wind right,
fantastic
right
kicker.
at your back.
Jason Sanders, one of the best in the country. He's made 11 straight field goals. See if New Mexico can work some magic on the return. They will!
They got a flag.
But a flag, and it might be coming back. But Elijah Lilly takes it all the way. Might that be the 10th kickoff return for a touchdown since 2012? Don't think so.
It looked like Gabe Ortega, number 14, had a hold.
I think a lot of the fans saw that flag and saved their breath. And I think Lilly knows it too. This one's coming back. Now the flag rests at the 35-yard line, so it wouldn't set them back too far.
During the return, holding number 14, the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Take another look. It was called on 14.
You're going to see it over to the side. He's coming back this way. Watch 31 in white. He's going to get engaged, and he's going to try and get off and throw his hands up in the air and say, I'm being held. And there you go.
Rio? So Lobo fans don't like that call. They'll start at the 25-yard line, a pump fake, and that pass is complete, but it's only a gain of 4 for Davis. 2 minutes to go in the first half.
You got to be careful here too, because you've got a pass rusher in Dimby who might get back there and create some more havoc. So you got to be careful. You want some points if you're New Mexico, but you can't turn the ball over.
That pass is incomplete. Had Patrick Reed, but the pass a little behind him, and Reed went down, and I believe he hurt his finger. He comes running out. New Mexico with just 60 rushing yards tonight. They were averaging 350 a game last season.
Best in the country. The best rushing attack in the country, and they've been stuffed. And I think you got to give a lot of credit to these linebackers who I've been talking about, but this defensive front has done a nice job as well. Roy Lopez, number 51, getting some penetration in there.
Uh-oh, that one hit off the helmet. New Mexico is all out of sorts. And that's several times. They've just made mistakes not with their head in the game.
There's just no rhythm or timing to this passing attack, which you would expect because they're a triple option team. Didn't even look for the football. Lucky that didn't bounce up in the air and get picked off. But now you look at the clock. We've got 1:39 with an explosive offense that's going to be very comfortable in a 2-minute drill here in New Mexico State.
And what could have been without that holding penalty on the kickoff return. This kick not nearly as good end over end. It's going to bounce and take a really nice New Mexico bounce inside the 15-yard line. Marked right at the 15 with 90 seconds to go. New Mexico with 3 timeouts left. New Mexico State with 2. And Bob Davies got to be wondering, how in the world are we going to, 1, slow down New Mexico State's offense, and 2, score a lot of points in the second half?
And I think they're going to have to do it on the ground. I know they haven't got their rushing attack really rolling, but watching them pass the ball, that's not going to work. Their only chance is if they can get this triple option attack rolling in the second half.
That's a big pickup on first down. On not a first down, but it'll be second down and short. Larry Rose III got out of bounds as well. Shay, you have more on Bob Davie.
Yeah, guys, I'm on New Mexico sideline. I'm hearing Bob Davie walk up and down, screaming at the refs, yelling at his football team. The coaching staff is saying, keep your eyes up, keep your eyes open. They're really frustrated with this football team. As you mentioned, they don't all seem to be on the same page, and you can see that as the coaching staff talks to them.
Again, it's a give to Rose. First down and then some. Frustration showing on that New Mexico defense as well.
Jalen Burrell had a flyby missed tackle there for the Lobos, and we've talked about this prolific passing attack for the Aggies. They can run the football a little bit too. They've got a couple backs in Rose and Huntley that can really go, and when you get a lead, I think we're going to see more of them.
Ty Rogers closing in on 300 passing yards in the first half. Almost a great toe tapper on the sideline from Jaleel Scott, but he could not bring it in. Now under a minute to go in the first half. And New Mexico State, you got to keep the pedal to the metal, don't you?
It's what they do. I mean, I do think they will see them run the ball a little bit more, but still take their shots down the field. And if you're going to get soft coverage, they're going to take those layups as they've done the entire game.
314 total yards already in the first half for New Mexico State. Most of it through the air. Rogers to throw again. And that one a little bit behind Jason Huntley. And it was knocked down by Alex Hart.
Nice playing coverage by Alex Hart. He's a big linebacker at his best, playing downhill, but did a nice job in coverage there. Lobos choosing just to rush 3, dropping 8. Try and get a lot of eyes on the quarterback.
3rd and 10.
Here comes some pressure.
7 all at the line of scrimmage. The front 7 is all there. They're not sending all. That pass incomplete. A marker is down. Oh boy, these fans don't like that. Pass interference will be called on Jacob Gergel, and that wouldn't have been near enough for a first down.
Ooh, that seemed a little ticky-tack on first look. If that's indeed what it is, I want to see that one again. Seeing is
There is no foul on the play. It's 4th down.
So ticky-tack that they pick the flag on up, and I think, and you do too, that was the right call to pick it up.
If you're New Mexico, why not go after a punt here? Try and see if you can generate a big play.
Got to do something. The Lobo howl can only do so much. That's Chris Davis back deep to receive. Stick around at halftime. Remember, no commercials here on Facebook. The halftime festivities. We'll send it down on the field with Shea Pepler. Interact with you on Facebook. Kick was a wobbler off the side of his foot, and should be some decent field position here. Let's see where they mark this ball.
He's keep walking. He's keep going. Keep going.
He's to the 40. He's to the 45. He's to midfield. Can you believe that? The side judge all the way to midfield to mark that one, and they actually will mark it at the 49-yard line of New Mexico State. 42 seconds left and a full complement of timeouts for New Mexico. This could be huge to end the first half.
It looks like we're going to see him throw the football. And it hasn't been good news for the Lobos when they've been doing that.
Pressure coming, completes it. And Ramel Jordan taken down just inside the 45. They'll have to use a timeout here, you would think. They're not. You have 3 timeouts. Boy, this is really surprising. Again, Jordan to throw. Intercepted. A leaping pick. And New Mexico State has it all working now. Ron LaForce, not even listed on the 2 deep, coming out making a big play. They're celebrating like wild on that far sideline.
Every time New Mexico throws the football, there's a grin on the sideline of New Mexico State because something good is about to happen for the Aggies. This ball just sails and floats it up. That's a fair catch for LaForce.
And New Mexico State will happily take a knee. 23-5 at halftime for a team that opened as a 2-touchdown underdog. But they won last year in Las Cruces, had to come from behind to win it by a point. Tonight, they look great. So does their head coach, with Shea Pepler.
Well, Coach, we thought there was going to maybe be a momentum shift when Stody Bradley went out 4 minutes in. Your team responded in a big way. What did you see?
Well, I think our guys are playing with a lot of passion. We're playing angry, which is what we need to do. We're playing with some attitude. So we'll see. We got another half to go.
You said you had to win those little battles. Whoever did would come out on top. Scenes. You're winning the majority of them. Coach, what adjustments do you want to make in the second half?
Some. We got to protect the passer a little bit better. We still got to get open on some deep routes.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Here we go. It's going to be up to that New Mexico defense first to try to set the tone for a comeback. It's a 3-possession game, 23-5. And narrow the focus is what Bob Davie says. Forget about the first half. Put the blinders on. We're a better team than that. And another touchback coming this way. The wind has been a factor in this game. Moving that way. Anyone kicking toward that end zone is getting help from the wind and from the altitude, as Daniel talked about in the first half.
Chris, I'm looking forward to this first series here. Let's look at New Mexico's defense and coverage-wise. Are they going to be soft? Are they going to be playing off, giving some of those easy completions? Or are they going to challenge and press? Right now, you see a little press at the top and soft at the bottom.
And soft in the middle. Larry Rose right up the gut, got to the second level on a gain of 7.
Larry Rose, a couple years ago against this Lobo defense, 260 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Didn't play last year, so you're going to see him get going, get him rolling a little bit if you're the Aggies in the second half.
That's scary if he gets going with the passing game they have. First down. Amazing to think that with this high-powered passing attack that Larry Rose is over 3,700 rushing yards for his career, top 5 in the country for active players. Oregon's Royce Freeman is first on that list.
Running style reminds me a little bit of Quiz Rogers, the way he runs the ball.
Oregon State. And a pass out of the backfield. Rose can do that too. I'm impressed by the 5'11 senior.
He's going to be in an NFL camp next year. I don't know if he's going to get drafted, but he's shown enough from what I've seen and the scouts I've talked to that he'll have an opportunity to make a team next year.
27 touchdowns in his New Mexico State playing career, the most for any Aggie in nearly 50 years. And he's getting the call again. Patience. Picked his way toward the marker. Looks like it'll be third down at about a half yard for New Mexico State.
Brings up 3rd down and 1.
Showing you a little bit of the versatility with this offense. You got to lead, run the football. This is a huge opportunity for the Lobos defense. They got to get off the field.
They were so good on third downs against Arizona State. 11 for 18. Another missed tackle. Rowe's second effort gets the first down at midfield.
Like Conyers, 92, that knifed in there, had a chance for a tackle for loss. You just got to wrap up. Actually, it's 96.
So demoralizing.
Johnny Williams, great penetration. You just got to finish.
Send Jason Huntley in motion. They
All
look his
day.
way. He does have all day. And a dropped pass. It was Huntley who should have hauled that in. Lobos are lucky. They've got to start getting some pressure on the quarterback because Tyler Rogers has been picking them apart. He may throw for 600 yards tonight if they don't start getting in his face.
Rogers sacked 6 times last week by Arizona State. He was sacked 5 times by this Lobo defense last year. There has been 0 pressure on him tonight.
2nd and 10. Cody Baker was able to get back onside. And they'll run the option. That's Huntley inside the 45-yard line. They need to get inside the 39 for a first down here on 3rd.
This might be a time you reintroduce Jaleel Scott, who really hasn't been much of a factor. A couple catches down the field tonight, but not as many opportunities for the big, talented wide receiver as I would have thought.
Rogers going deep. Overshoots his man. Oh, Isaiah Lottie was looking for touchdown number 3. He has 2 catches and 2 touchdowns so far in this game. He got turned around just a little bit, or that might have been another.
He's putting a lot of air under his deep ball throughout the game today. Tyler Rogers just kind of misfired, and Lottie got lost, but he was on top of coverage. They've really gone after Gurgle tonight in coverage for the Lobos.
Chris Davis back deep to receive the punt. It's a rugby-style kick from Peyton Theisler, and it will roll into the end zone for a touchback. And now we see what adjustments, if any, this New Mexico offense makes. The running game did not work. The passing game did not work. They're known for their run. Daniel, you said they've got to stick with it because that's what they do. If passing's not going to work either, you might as well stick with what you're supposed to do best.
Can't go get an 18-point play. You just got to get out there and get that first touchdown, and your best opportunity to get that done is by running the football.
Jordan -8 yards rushing in the first half for the dual threat quarterback who had 52 yards rushing in the opener. That's Davis. Only a couple. That's been the theme tonight. Haven't been able to get much on first down.
Look at these linebackers and watch them attack. Coming downhill.
Handoff, here we go. The Rock. Richard McQuarley. Close to a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1.5 yards, and they're going fast. Watch the quarterback sneak here. That's what I'd do if I was New Mexico State. That's exactly what they do. He gets the push from behind, and he should have the first down.
It's close.
Oh, they're going at 4th down. Now the line judge was across the 30-yard line. He didn't spot it, though.
He's a full football short. They're going for it. This is a huge play in the game.
I might think about challenging that spot from Bob Davie. It's always tough with quarterback sneaks. Biggest play of the game so far, and it's a big one from McQuarley. First down, so it doesn't matter. I love the call from Bob Davie. You led the nation in rushing last year. If you can't get an inch, you can't get anything.
Now you're seeing pace. You could still run pace and run the football.
They're passing. Near side. That's Davis again. First down, New Mexico.
Just blocked him up about 7 yards off the field by the wide receiver. That was some Bobby Boucher type stuff right there.
Waterboy. The fans getting into it a little bit. If they can get a score here, get the fans back in the game, they're right in it because there's plenty of time. The running back is Darrell Chestnut. He gets the call, and he is taken down. Terrell Hanks in on the tackle.
We have seen some physical play tonight. We've seen some big hits, some huge blocks.
The students want something to cheer about. Big hole for Chestnut. That's a first down, New Mexico. 3 first downs now, and they're starting to get their legs on offense. This is what New Mexico does. Run downhill.
Keep the pace going. Now this, I like what they're doing. Run the football and do it with pace.
Chestnut gets the call again. Inside the 40-yard line. At the very least, their defense a bit of a rest. Keeping that New Mexico State defense on the field, which they were not on the field much in the first half. A look to the sideline for the call. Offensive coordinator is Bob DeBessie. It's a team that led the nation in yards per carry last year, 6.5 yards per game. Jordan throwing, hit as he throws, and it's intercepted again. And again, it's Ron LaForce. Second interception of the game. And maybe some more extracurriculars.
Tell you what, this is Malik Demby, though. Malik Demby with the pressure, number 11. Watch him hurdle the back, gets cut, hops up, comes back, and gets a hit on the quarterback to affect the pass. And LaForce gets another layup. That's the second gimme he's got tonight. He needs to thank his buddy Demby there for creating the pressure. And once again, I don't know why New Mexico is abandoning the run.
I was just going to ask you that. It's working for you, and then you pass it. And Ron LaForce with 2 picks, both of them coming down near the end zone. The other one at the end of the first half.
Does he send Malik Demby a friend request?
He should. A lot of New Mexico State fans watching from Las Cruces or all around the country have to be enjoying what they are seeing from their Aggies here on Facebook. They forced 4 New Mexico turnovers.
And New Mexico State showing a little balance here in the second half. We'll see how long they stay with this running attack, or are they going to start chucking it again? They've got press coverage, so if they want to take a shot downfield, it's there for them.
He will take a shot. He's going for the big man, Scott. Beg your pardon. That was underneath to O.J. Clark. Scott was running the go as well down the near sideline, but it was too tall for the 5'7" sophomore. Third and long again. See if this New Mexico defense can come up with a stop and get that ball back to the offense. Rodgers to throw again, all kinds of time down the middle, and Scott with the catch. A rope from Rodgers.
Chris, wait till you see this. They're bracketing Scott, double covering him. They got somebody underneath him and on top of him. It doesn't matter. They're still going to try and find him and force it in there. Talk about a tight window throw for Tyler Rodgers. Double coverage, no issue.
Coming in, that had been his issue, going over the middle. First down on 3rd and long, and now they're looking for the backbreaker. Oh, Drew Dan had everybody beat. Take another look at that rope of a pass.
Look, he's got really, you talk about it. Look, it's windy out here too. I mean, that's not an easy throw with coverage, and now you factor in the wind. And I think you're seeing him trying to adjust his deep ball. You saw he put a lot of air under it early. Missed that last one, but he's starting to flatten it out a little bit with all this wind.
You see the flags are waving into the face of the New Mexico State offense. He's looking deep again. Almost intercepted. That was close.
Gurgle.
3rd and 10 again. This New Mexico defense has given up a lot of 3rd and longs. Gurgle was right there. Good coverage.
They've gone after him a little bit. That was perfect position and nice play on the football. You've got to find 16 if you're the Lobos.
Here they come. Incomplete. So New Mexico holds again. That's 2 good defensive stands for this defense to start the second half. But the offense just hasn't been able to do anything yet.
Looked like a drop pass. A beautiful throw there from Tyler Rogers. Anthony Muse just right off his hands. And with this wind, even more reason if you're New Mexico when you get this ball back, just stay on the ground. Might be coming after the punt here.
Why not? Good snap. There's the kick. And it's angled. Takes a great New Mexico State roll to the 11-yard line. That was headed to the boundary, and it took a kick back the other way. New Mexico State 23-5 lead, 8:02 to go in the third, sending it down to Shea Pepler.
Hey guys, well, we're complaining about a little wind and a little rain down here, but that is nothing compared to what is going on in Florida and with Irma. Now, there are several players on both teams whose families are affected by this hurricane. The first is Daryl Chestnut. He is one of 9 siblings, you guys. His dad and one of his brothers is here today. However, the rest of his family is staying in South Florida and weathering the storm. Same goes for Stanley Barnwell. Coach told me, he talked with him about it, and he said his family was going to ride it out. They survived the last hurricane in the same house they live in currently. However, Coach Davey told me it's quite concerning. Then Kenneth Maxwell. He's from Central Florida. His family was in last week, so they're going to stay put and weather the storm as well. And then as far as New Mexico State goes, I'm told linebacker Terrell Hank's mother lives in Florida and decided to stay there with a few others to bunker down through Hurricane Irma. So some scary stuff going on in Florida, you guys. Our thoughts are with those players and their families as they worry about their safety. Back to you.
Absolutely, Shea, and thank you for that. You know, it's been a wild first couple weeks of the season because last week it was all about the Houston natives and all the issues they went through with Harvey and the flooding there, and now a completely different set of the country. The thing is, every team has players from the Miami area and the Houston area. Every team is affected.
Yeah, I mean, here we're in New Mexico, and you look at these teams that are affected by it. So look, you hope everybody can get through this nice and safe through this latest storm, and our thoughts and prayers are still with everybody in Houston as well as those in Florida.
Coming up September the 23rd, a couple weeks, right here on Facebook, Florida International visiting Rice. Rice located in that Houston area. And we'll have that for you in a couple weeks right here on Facebook. A nice hop to the inside. And that's a good pickup on first down for Ramel Jordan, though there is a flag. And we do have a new quarterback in the game as well. Tevaka Toioti.
Nicely done, Chris.
Redshirt freshman. Did throw one pass last week. Had a really good spring as they do get holding on New Mexico. And he moved up to that number 2 quarterback position. He was a quarterback, a wide receiver, a punter, and a returner in high school. He can do it all. He's an athlete. And Bob Davey just looking for something on offense. That is not going to help a freshman quarterback. There's Lamar Jordan, 10 for 19, 103 yards, and 2 interceptions.
Look for some quarterback runs here. You get an extra blocker in the game when the quarterback can take off.
Toioti hands off. A little sliver of daylight for Tyrone Owens.
Because in this game, Lamar Jordan has not been a factor as a runner. So if you're struggling to throw the ball, you might as well put another runner on the field. If you can get some more athletic plays from your backup quarterback and get him involved in the run game, try and get this offense jump started.
2nd down and 7. In a drive that might be a must score for New Mexico if they want to stay in this game. It's again Owens. It will be 3rd and short. Before that, we send it down to Shea with more on the new quarterback, the freshman, Toioti.
It's really interesting because in talking about Davey this week, he said Lamar Jordan has been a much happier guy this season because there wasn't someone waiting in the wings. Well, That obviously didn't last very long. We're in game 2 of the season here in the second half, and they already have a new quarterback coming in. He said Lamar Jordan was a guy who really wore his emotions on his sleeve. He hasn't seen that out of him that much this season because he has been the guy, has been the quarterback, has been the starter. Well, obviously this changes, so I wonder how that's going to change the dynamic on the offensive side of the ball.
Jordan, fifth-year player, third-year captain. And how about this Aggie defense swarming and stifling the Lobo attack, forcing another punt.
You look at good defensive teams, you want to see how many hats can they get to the football. You always want to make your way into the frame. You get a plus if you're a defensive lineman. Get in the frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at it from here. You can see them flow to the football. You miss a tackle, but you've got 3 buddies there to help you out and more pursuing. So the effort, the speed, the athleticism has been on display for the Aggies.
The Aggies look like the team that blew a late lead last year and lost by a point. It's supposed to be the Lobos playing like this.
They're just a much faster football team.
Pretty good kick. Bouncing inside the 40 and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Pretty good field position again for New Mexico State. Taking a look at what New Mexico State has coming up. After losing by 6 at Arizona State, they finally get their home opener next week against Troy, and then back-to-back home games. A rivalry game against UTEP.
I'm staring at Arkansas, and I'm seeing an Arkansas team that was struggling today against TCU, and I'm thinking you better be ready when the Aggies come, because they're going to be able to give you a football game. And then as somebody that graduated from Appalachian State, I'm going to have to call the coaching staff after this game and tell them I'm a little bit nervous.
Guys, Coach Davey walking out, talking to his players, encouraging them, clapping, putting his hands on his back, saying, let's go, let's stay in this, trying to keep everyone's heads focused. I'm also seeing some of the guys dancing here on the sidelines.
Really?
To come and get your love.
New Mexico players dancing?
New Mexico players are dancing. So you know what? Maybe they're not as frustrated as we think.
Well, that's the look of frustration there on the face of Lamar Jordan, who's been benched. At least he was last drive.
Tell you what, if you're the Aggies, I know you've got a high-powered offense and you can attack, but I'm almost thinking the way your defense is playing, just a meat and potatoes drive here. Run the football a little bit more, chew some of this clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure New Mexico can get 24.
Yeah, just protect the football.
And he does just that. Larry Rose III, 2015, set the single-season rushing record. 1,651 yards for New Mexico State.
He's got good hands out of the backfield, too. They'll get him on some of these swing routes and does a nice job.
Speak of the devil. There he is. First down. Daniel Jeremiah right there. Pick up a 10.
I think we had a big block there from Jaleel Scott. Might have somebody down on the field. That's a, you run a flat route or you run a swing route. A lot of times you have a receiver cracking inside, and I believe that's what happened.
D'Angelo Ross is the one that's down, the JUCO transfer from California.
He was already down. I think Jaleel might have got him before we saw him enter the frame there.
Can't imagine many New Mexico fans pictured this game would be going like this. 23-5. New Mexico State has led the whole way, coming off a 9-4 season, a bowl win, a division championship, and a revenge game against your in-state rivals.
Here he is at the very top of the screen. Oh, he gets stepped on. He got stepped on. And Jaleel Scott is not a little wide receiver. That's 6'6", 215 plus pounds.
New Mexico State hasn't had a winning record in football since 2002, when they went 7-5. Looks like a pretty good team right now that could compete in the Sun Belt.
I like what you're doing if you're New Mexico State now. If you want to throw the ball, everything's on the perimeter. We mentioned earlier on, Rogers had some issues in the middle of the field, had one that probably should have been picked tonight that ended up in a long touchdown, but it gets a little bit muddy in the middle of the field. Stay outside, it's safer for you.
2nd and 10, under 5 minutes to play here in the third. Near side, what a catch. Great adjustment from Jonathan Boone. That's another first down for New Mexico State, and it's getting late for New Mexico to try to find something.
Great throw and catch.
That one was almost picked, and it could have been 6. Elijah Lilly with the break, and it went right off his hands.
They've seen this route so many times tonight, and this time he decided to jump it. Ball was on time. You got to be on time. That's a long throw. But he took a chance. I wouldn't be surprised to see New Mexico State mix in a wheel route again. They did it earlier and got a flag.
2nd and long. Pressure coming, going up top. He's got his man. Anthony Muse. There it was.
A little double move, a little slant and go, a little sluggo. We talked about the wheel route that they had an opportunity on earlier. Same type of thing. You're going to see an aggressive corner. You're going to identify that from the box and say, okay, let's give him some cheese. Give him a look at the slant and go right by him. A little sluggo, big play.
Down to the 13-yard line. Rogers with Larry Rose to his left. Coming up to the line. 3 receivers to his right. He'll run the option left. He'll keep it himself. He dives inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Pick up close to 5 on first down.
Tell you what, in the pocket though, for the most part, I mean, Rogers can be a couch potato back there. I mean, just get nice and comfortable.
Absolutely. That ball's tipped and incomplete. Tyler Rogers is throwing it all over this place. 10 different receivers have caught a pass from Rogers.
It's been equal opportunities, finding the one-on-one matchups, and they're winning.
3rd and 6. If they could hold him to a field goal, it would remain a 3-possession game, 21-point game.
You got the slot here with a big receiver.
Going with the fade, and there's the big boy. Jaleel Scott has done it again. A career high 4 passing touchdowns for Tyler Rogers.
It's just a mismatch, and a lot of times this is something we've seen at the collegiate level as well as the professional level. You get down in the red zone, you put your big receiver in the slot, and you've got a couple options. You can work him down the seam, or you can throw a corner. Here you see just a quick corner. And not only do we know how big and physical Jaleel Scott is, shows some quickness right there with the touchdown.
Rogers has never thrown more than 4 in a game. Actually ties a career high. And this kid is throwing it around as good as anybody in the country so far this season. Threw for 398 and 3 touchdowns in game 1. 365 and 4 touchdowns tonight. We're still in the 3rd quarter.
And you remember when we saw earlier when there was we had a flag on Doug Martin, the New Mexico State head coach, that he went back into the huddle with his guys, and they were fired up, screaming and yelling. And we mentioned it back then, Chris. I don't think they're calling this thing off right now.
That one was oh so pretty for Aggie fans.
Talk about dropping it in the bucket. And once again, it looked like that was Gergel that they went after. That's not a great matchup for New Mexico with Gergel in the slot, one-on-one against Jaleel Scott.
It was interesting to hear the 2 head coaches talk about the rivalry leading up to this game, because Bob Davie said there's no revenge factor at all. Last season has nothing to do with it. We have to narrow the focus. It's a rivalry game, but it's just another game. While Coach Doug Martin said this is the biggest game of the year for us, and it's even bigger than usual. We can tell tonight. Well, let's ask the expert, Daniel Jeremiah. Who do you think is going to win the game?
Well,
it's 30-5. Hey, but there's still time. And that's a swibber. New Mexico at least will get good field position at the 38-yard line. You want exclusive access? You've got it. The latest recruiting news and insider reports from colleges all over the country. Campus Insiders has you covered. Join Ray Crawford and former Florida State cornerback Bryant McFadden for Campus Insiders weekdays at 4:30. That's 4:30 p.m. only on WatchStadium.com. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 out here in the mountains. And it's still the freshman in at quarterback for New Mexico. Tevaka Toyota. He wasn't able to do anything on that first drive, but really got put in a hole due to that penalty. See what he does here. At this point, it might just be see what he can do for the rest of the season. If he could do something here, he could win the starting job, one might think.
He's got a lot of work ahead of him right now. If you're going to come back right now with this offense, you're going to have to pop one, either a run or you're going to have to hit a pop pass or something. They need to chunk play 4 yards, 5 yards at a time. That's not going to get it done.
Nothing doing again. Richard McCorley hasn't had much luck. No running back for New Mexico has had any luck against this front seven for New Mexico State. And it's starting to get chippy because New Mexico State's chirping. They're up by 25 on the Lobos tonight. The last time they won by 25 or more, 1968.
Wow. Our producer, Mark, was only 35 years old.
And no one on Facebook was alive. Keep the comments coming. I'm sure New Mexico State fans will be on all night long. They're chirping too. More movement and more Shea Pepler.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty.
DeAndre Jordan in the house. Avery's only 6'5". He's a shorty compared to DeAndre. How about that? Good catch from Shea down there. Avery Jordan was actually sick for the first game and missed that game for New Mexico against Abilene Christian.
He played a little bit, and then his fever, he had a fever that said spiked over 103.
Oh boy.
I had to get him out of there.
Fourth down, and the punt team is out again. Corey Bojorquez has been busy tonight because the New Mexico State defense has shut the Lobos down.
Whoa.
Big boot lands at the 1 and rolls into the end zone for the touchback. And we see Lobo fans heading to the exits here at Dream Style Stadium.
And that's one of the things you have when you run a triple option offense, though, as a fan base. You sit here and look at it and say, okay, we're down 25 points. Do we have enough firepower and enough time to get back in this thing?
Answer's probably not unless something crazy happens again. It was a weird start to the game. Thought maybe New Mexico was going to seize the momentum back from New Mexico State after they brought back that PAT for 2 points, but it just never happened. It never materialized for New Mexico. Penalties, miscues, and some just flat out bad luck.
Yeah, the ball bounced against them a couple times, but this has not been a game about a bounce here or there.
No.
This has been a pretty thorough beating here.
It's pretty clear who the better team is. New Mexico defense setting up a third down. They're still fighting out there. Miles Robbie Veen hooting and hollering. That will be the final play of the third quarter. How about this? New Mexico State, man, if they could have just...
They needed one more play. Just needed one more play last week.
Oh, if they could have won that game and he'd come in here and win this, my goodness. This is a team that has been down in the dumps for a really long time. Their last bowl game, 1960.
Come on.
They've never lost a bowl game, though. 2-0-1. All three at the
Make
Sun
it count.
Bowl.
You make it count when you get in there.
The last one, though, in 1960. Amazing. Tyler Rogers, fantastic last week. Maybe even better this week.
Done a nice job working the perimeter, taking the quick underneath stuff, and then this one got a little lucky on. Should have been intercepted. It's tipped up in the air, and you end up with a long touchdown. But that's really all the luck that he needed. He's been on the money throughout the day. A lot of quick hitters, a lot of quick outs, and then a couple double moves down the field, and not to mention a couple thread shots in the middle of the field to his big wide receiver, Jaleel Scott. You see him score right here. But we saw that one hit. Chris, I don't know if he's been hit more than 3 or 4 times this whole game. This offensive line for the Aggies, who I had some questions about after last week, has really stepped up and done a nice job.
The biggest hit was well after he threw the football, and probably should have been roughing the passer. 15 minutes to play, and for New Mexico fans, mercifully, this one will come to an end at some point. Let's compare Tyler Rogers to Lamar Jordan, who's been benched in this game. Both of these guys are seniors. But 369 yards passing for Rogers, 4 touchdowns, no picks, while Jordan hasn't been able to do anything. In fact, he's hurt his team with a couple of interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great example of what's happened here today. And, we look at the quarterbacks, and Tyler Rogers done a great job, and Jaleel Scott's been fantastic, but you got to also tip your cap to this Aggie defense, who has just gotten after the quarterback. They've stopped the run. They've been outstanding.
And without Jaden Wright, the starting safety, and Stody Bradley, a starting defensive end, kicked out for targeting in the first few minutes of this game.
Whoa. Caught. Did he hold on to that?
But it's short of the first down. Pickup of 5 yards.
This is one of the better 5-yard catches that you'll see. Not the
wow.
It was
another
tipped.
Opportunity for New Mexico to make a play.
Tipped, and he adjusted to that at full speed, caught it, and went diving into the sideline like a bowling ball. Took out about 3 or 4 people.
There is no offensive pass interference because the ball was tipped. 4th down.
Okay, so they were going to call offensive pass interference because there was a shove, but yes, the ball was tipped. 4th down anyway. And New Mexico gets it back. You think they should, Daniel, stick with the redshirt freshman who hasn't been able to do anything in his first 2 drives, or go back to the senior captain, Lamar Jordan?
I'll tell you what, you got a 3-time captain, a senior, and you've taken him out of the game already. I think it's hard to even reinsert him at this point in time. I think you give him the message that, hey, I want you to clear your head. We want to protect you. Don't want you getting hurt. You're our guy going forward. We're not going to put you out here in harm's way. I think you ride the young guy the rest of the way here.
Well, they're going to need a big rally if they want to make this a game. And speaking of, for breaking sports news, in progress highlights, best viral videos out there, and expert opinions, New Mexico has nothing, at least on offense, in this game.
Can we reach out to the folks on Facebook and say who they think is the player of the game? Because there's a lot of contenders.
You could go with the quarterback, Rogers. That would be an easy choice. Isaiah Lottie had the 2 touchdown catches in the first half.
Scott's been great. These linebackers.
That was incomplete.
We've got LaForce with 2 picks, right?
Question asked a lot. If you do just want to watch the game and not have the comments floating by, swipe right, and they will disappear. I know a lot of you like seeing the comments. But you can always swipe it back. A pass in the flat, and hey, we got a big play for New Mexico. It's been a long time coming, but that'll work for a first down, and that's Jay Griffin, the 4th.
Jay Griffin has some speed. He got vertical for a touchdown against Abilene Christian last week. I'd like to see them get him a little bit more involved. You see the immediate sudden burst that he had there. He's trying to get the ball in his hands a little bit and see if he can't generate a couple more big plays. You're going to need a bunch of them.
Maybe this redshirt freshman can get something going here. Another completion. Delaney Hart-Johnson, who's had a really difficult night coming back after that car accident, missed all of 2016. He's a deep threat, but I haven't seen any of that tonight. Some tempo from New Mexico. Only seen this a couple of times from the Lobos, but they've got something cooking now. Is it a touchdown? Jay Griffin is close to the end zone, but marked out at the 2.
They found a little something here, getting Griffin involved, and the speed is showing up. On-time throws, not wasting any time back there. It's a catch, rock, and throw. Nice job by Griffin, giving him his numbers. Show the young quarterback your numbers, make it a nice, easy throw for him. Great effort, just nudged out of bounds. Now I think you try and power the ball in and see if you can't get an onside kick or get right back in it.
Play clock's winding down here. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Has a couple running backs behind him. And it's the option play, the pitch, nice catch, but even better defense. Oh boy. Those Aggies were swarming again. Cedric Wilcox II on the stop.
One thing they're doing with this option, and that was a nice job by Dalton Harrington. Some teams slow play it. That's defensively, they try and slow play the option and delay the decision from the quarterback. Right here with New Mexico State, they are attacking it right away, making a quarterback make a very quick decision. We saw him get a fumble and recover it earlier in the game. They're trying to speed up the process for the quarterback.
New Mexico down 4 possessions. Looking for their first touchdown of the game, and they've got it! Off the deflection. Finally, a touchdown for the Lobos, and it's Chris Davis.
Got to tip your cap to the young quarterback. That was an impressive drive.
And that's why you stick with him, I guess. You were right, Daniel. Don't put the captain back in. Stick with the freshman. See what you've got here. Let him mature. And a little bit of luck going the Lobos' way for once.
Nice job by Rock McCorley picking up a block there. Didn't get all of them. His quarterback still got nudged, but man, for a young kid sitting in there.
They're going for 2 as
strike.
well. Going for 2, down 19, trying to make this a 17-point game. McCorley's the running back. Looking right, and that was right through the hands of Jay Griffin IV.
A little hot. Take a little off that.
30-11. New Mexico finally in the end zone. That's got to make Mr. Jordan happy. His brother is on the board. Jay?
Thank you, guys. Yeah, he's not in LA. He is in New Mexico watching his brother. They just put up a touchdown. How do they turn this game around? I know you've been in a position like this before, haven't you? How do they turn it around?
I've been in a position like this a lot of times. It's a lot of time, man. You guys got a great home crowd, a lot of talent over here, and the coaches have been doing a great job. So just stay the course, man. Play great defense, and we got a lot of time.
How often do you come watch your brother Avery play?
As much as I can, man. Whenever we get a day off or I get some time off, I try to shoot up here and just watch him as much as possible. And with this being a senior season, it's really important.
I know he plays football. You obviously play basketball, but what kind of exchanges do you guys have about sports and the game and all those kinds of things?
We talk about competition, the preparation, how hard it is to be successful in any level, and just pushing them to stay successful and just work as much as you can.
Thank you, DeAndre. All right, guys. I don't know about you, but I think I got trump card down here on the field with celebrity status. Back to y'all.
Yeah, you both have credentials, it seems like. On-field access, great get. Shea Pepler getting DeAndre Jordan, whose brother Avery is a senior left tackle for this New Mexico Lobo football team. He still thinks there's enough time left. It's a 3-possession game now. Do you think onside at this point?
At some point in time, you're probably going to have to get one. I don't know. Right now, I think you've got some momentum. Kick it deep, see if you can't get a stop, get a quick score, and then maybe that enters into your thinking.
And there is Bro, Avery Jordan, brother of DeAndre Jordan. Got some sweet hair as well. All right, here comes the kick. See if you know that New Mexico State's going to be ready if they do indeed try to pull a surprise onside. It's not going to surprise us, but it looks like they are going to kick it away. And it'll be a touchback. We are in Albuquerque, the University of New Mexico. And the fans here, the hometown fans, not liking what they're seeing. Looks like it's going to be the second straight year where bragging rights go down south to Las Cruces.
See what kind of pace New Mexico State goes at here. They like to go fast. It's always frustrating to me, though. You got a nice lead and you're snapping the ball with 20+ seconds on the play clock, and you're trying to shorten this football game. So we'll see how they handle it.
2nd down and 7, and the Aggies are taking
now
as much time as they can. Well, the only way to slow down this offense tonight is when they go into a bit of a stall to milk the clock. Pass, completion, and there he is again. This time it's not good for a touchdown. Lottie. And it's 3rd down, so New Mexico's got to come up with a stop here. Get it back quick, get it down the field quick. A field goal would make it a 2-possession game.
Still bleeding that clock, even though you didn't get much yardage on that last play. You caught the ball, you stayed in bounds, the clock's rolling.
Rogers closing in on 400 yards. And if this was a closer game, he'd be there. They had to slow it down a little bit to work the clock. 3rd and 3, pass out of the backfield, and an open field tackle is made, and that's a big one from the reigning defensive player of the week in the Mountain West. Talked about him at the outset of the game, Jake Rothschiller. It was a walk-on, and he's turned into one of the best defensive players on this team.
Nice play by Rothschiller. Nice job of design. They showed blitz and were able to get the quarterback, Rogers, throw the ball hot. They had bailed out and backed out and able to just make an open field tackle. Nice job.
Well, New Mexico State made a late charge in their game at Arizona State to make it a game. Can New Mexico do the same against the Aggies? An opportunity to return this one for Jackson. Slips a tackle, splits through, works his way close to the 40-yard line. Send it down once more to Shea Pepper.
Well, guys, this New Mexico team has got a very quick turnaround. They have to face Boise State on Thursday. Not even a full week here to recover. Coach Davey knows this. We asked him about it earlier on in the week, and he said, yeah, we can't really be thinking that far ahead. I'm not even that concerned about it, but they have got Boise State next on their schedule. So tough test ahead for the Lobos. And momentum, obviously, probably will not be on their side.
Boy, that is tough going to Boise on a Thursday night. Davey did say that he's tired of practicing, beating up on each other. This early in the season, you don't mind playing 2 games in a week. He's excited about it. I'm not sure how happy he'll be after this one, although it does give them a chance to get back on the field as fast as they can after what we saw tonight. I know it's not over yet, and they might not even look at the tape from this game the way this has gone.
The interesting thing, though, is you get a short week to play Boise, but Boise's offense very similar to New Mexico State's. So that'll help them in their preparation in a short week. And then you look at Boise State, on the other hand,
right. They're
playing Washington State late tonight. So it's a late night game. And Washington State and New Mexico are polar opposites. So that's not going to benefit Boise State very much.
It's always difficult to turn around on short notice and face a triple option team. It's when you get into those situations where a team has more than a week to prepare that you start to worry that they may be able to close it down. That's exactly what New Mexico State had. They played on the 31st at Arizona State, so they had a couple extra days to prepare for this triple option.
Yeah, and I don't even know really so much about preparation tonight. It's just a faster, more athletic, more explosive team with a significant edge at the quarterback position.
Though New Mexico, with a quick drive here, could get back into this football game. They went down and scored last time down behind the redshirt freshman quarterback, Tevaka Toyota.
Crazier things have happened in college football.
And in football, period. Falcons, cough, cough. That's a reverse.
There he is again.
Jay Griffin, the speedster, makes a man miss, and Griffin's down the sideline. He's got one man to beat. He'll beat him. We've got a ball game. 62 yards.
They found something. They found something the last drive in Jay Griffin. His speed from where we are, Chris, just jumped off the field when you saw how fast he was on the last drive. Get him the football, and he makes something happen. We said earlier, you need a big play to close down a lead like this. You need to have a one-play drive or a turnover return for a score, and they got exactly what they needed right here. And again, it's the young quarterback.
And now you got to go for 2 again to make it an 11-point game. Reason why? That means a field goal, a touchdown, and the 2-point conversion would tie it. That's why you go for 2. They failed the last time they tried it. Toyota in the shotgun. Looking, has a man. It's caught. Did he get in? He did, but the ball is loose. They're calling that a good 2-point conversion. Richard McQuarley had it, and then the ball squirted out.
Did he cross the plane, though? That's my question. The ball crossed the plane.
Take another look at it from behind. Not going to be able to tell if the ball crossed the plane.
Did he catch it is the second point, obviously.
And you might be looking at a challenge from the New Mexico State side and Doug Martin. This is a big play. You're either on an 11 or a 13. Now he reached that out and then dropped it. I think that was the right call.
I don't know if he reached it out over the line though.
From these angles, there's no way to overturn this. Now we might be able to see it better here, but there's no way. Even if you review this, I think it's a good conversion.
His feet are in the paint. You can definitely see his feet in there, which is a question of whether the ball made it on this initial catch or on the reach.
I think the ball was in before he reached. As he was turning around, he was kind of falling backwards. And there's no way you can overturn this, in my opinion.
Now I think you just kick it deep, by the way. I mean, you've got all the momentum now.
10:09.
Lots of time left. You kick it deep, and you are right back in this. All these people that have left, can we talk them into coming back?
Hey, on Facebook out in the parking lot or on your ride home, the passenger, of course, on Facebook. I hope they allow re-entry. This one is booted through the back of the end zone. Now, that was a situation where New Mexico State didn't have anybody deep because they were preventing against the onside kick. And here's the touchdown.
A little reverse.
First time we've seen that, and just too much speed, the elusiveness. A couple of players, though, had shots at him. Good downfield blocking, though.
This is just the pure speed here, right? Just a little hesitation move. A lot of times when you talk about breaking tackles, you think of somebody lowering their shoulder. You got to be able to step through tackles as well. That's exactly what he did.
And now, let's see how Rogers responds. Pass is complete. That's Kramer. Gain of 4, maybe 5 yards to the 30-yard line.
And we talked the last drive about them trying to bleed the clock a little bit, and I think they might have lost their rhythm by doing that. So now I think you see New Mexico State try and get rolling again, pick up the pace.
Still up by 11 points. But they only have 11 yards this quarter to the 115 New Mexico's put up. Kramer's got it again. 2 catches, 11 yards so far in this drive. That's a first down.
How many quick outs have we seen tonight? It feels like 100.
Boy, New Mexico State loves the quick out. Rogers, even though if he's only throwing it for 3-4 yard gain, he's throwing it a long way across the field.
He's got a big arm. A lot of times you think of a big arm pushing it down the field. He's been throwing from one hash all the way across the field on these outs.
Bleeding that play clock. Give up the middle. Not much doing for Larry Rose, but it's a positive gain on first down, and it sets him up nicely to work the clock a little bit more.
Keeps them on schedule. When they can get those little 4 or 5 yards on first down, they're right where they want to be. A lot of cushion out there again.
Going right. It's gathered in. And Rose makes a move. I'm surprised they're giving him that much space. And with more on the people that left and may have come back, send it down to the field to Shea.
Hey guys, well, I was watching during these last couple of minutes and I looked up at the stands. I actually saw people leaving, walking out, turn around, come back to their seats, and now they're sitting here watching the game. Can you believe that? They went to go leave, turned around, came back and sat down. That is fair weather fans. People stay in your seats. And Facebook commenters were saying the Lobos are a second half team. It looks like they're right.
Does Facebook have the boomerang feature? Is that what we're seeing here? Boomerang crowd?
Huh? Calling out the fair weather fans. I prefer to call them realists. I might have left too. Down 30-5.
Good delay a game. Error by a veteran quarterback.
Working too much clock.
5-yard penalty.
Clock does bleed to 7:51.
7 minutes, 52 seconds.
See, those are the fans that stayed. Fair weather fans there. Front row seats. Not giving those up. The students that have stayed.
It's nothing better than getting the seat upgrade, though, when the other people leave. And
the ball's loose. Oh, boy. That would have been big.
Garrett Hughes got back there. A quiet night for him. He's a good player. Preseason all-conference pick, 6.5 sacks last year. That's just
bad exchange.
Bad exchange, but he was right there.
Jason Huntley unable to bring that in. 2nd and 17 now.
Doug Martin's heart just skipped a beat.
Rogers to throw over the middle, tipped and intercepted. It's picked off and it's coming back the other way. New Mexico set up with great field position. And they're right in this game. Jacob Gurgle, they picked on him early, but he's come up big in the 4th quarter.
Gave up some plays early tonight, but then he found himself in great position for a pass breakup early and in good position right here to just get the pop-up. Good reaction, high point the football, and then get a nice return. How about the tackle by Rogers to get him on the ground? But look, they get a quick score. They don't even need a quick score. They just need to score. There's plenty of time left for the Lobos.
And remember, a field goal is in play. A field goal cuts it to an 8-point game. The redshirt freshman quarterback back at it. Last 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. This drive, oh, wow, no interference. That is remarkable, and Bob Davie can't believe it. Arms outstretched. He's outside the coach's box being pulled back. I am stunned there was no flag thrown on that play.
Call me crazy, but that looked like offensive pass interference.
Okay, let's take a look.
Take a look at the wide receiver pulling him.
I think you might be right, Daniel.
I like the no call. I think if anything, it would have been offensive pass interference, but I think they made the right call not calling anything.
I think you're right.
It's a veteran move by Blaine Hart-Johnson trying to pull him down.
I like the play call going deep on 1st down. The slant over the middle. There's that man again. Jay Griffin, the 4th. Where was he in the 1st half?
Jay Griffin has a rocket strapped to his back.
1st and 10, and the fans are fired up now in the red zone. Griffin's in the slot to the right. They throw to the end zone. Penalty marker down. That'll be interference. What a turn of events. A New Mexico team that could not get anything going. Down 30-5 in the 3rd quarter. In the 4th quarter.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. By rule, the ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
Benched their 3-year captain, senior quarterback Lamar Jordan. Bring in Tevaka Toyota, the redshirt freshman, does zilch in his first 2 drives. Nothing at all. I asked you, do you stick with him? It's 30-5. You said yes.
They've got some momentum going now. And you've got a big back. They haven't had to run the ball. He's been throwing it so well, but you still have a big back in Rock McQuarrie that can power some tough yards for you.
Griffin again in the slot near side. Running back is McQuarrie. It's a slant over the middle. It's incomplete.
And you talk about a run-pass option. You got 2 linemen that flag-backed a defensive lineman in the end zone on a passing play.
What does the playbook call for on 2nd and goal from the 5 and a redshirt freshman? I would say anything that puts it in 23's hands.
Yeah, you could always do it. Pitch him the ball, throw him a little quick screen, let him make somebody miss. We haven't really seen the quarterback take off yet either. That's always an option down here.
6:45 to go, 2nd and goal. New Mexico trying to make this a 1-possession game. They were down 30-5 moments ago. Incomplete. It's again intended for Delaney Hart-Johnson. And it's 3rd down and 5. And on 3rd downs tonight, New Mexico has been atrocious. 1 for 10. A lot of these 3rd downs, though, have been 3rd and really long.
Yeah, look, they've made it easier on themselves. The Aggies have with what they've done and stuff in the run on 1st and 2nd down. But I don't think you just give up on the run here.
2 running backs, Tyrone Owens and Richard McQuarley. The give is to Owens, and he's tripped up and fumbles the ball. It's recovered by the Aggies, and I think he tripped over his own offensive lineman's foot.
Take a look at it right here. It's 2 down territory. He got tripped right over. The question is, did the ground cause the fumble?
I guess that was Avery Jordan. Certainly not.
Is that the runner was down before the ball became loose. It'll be 4th down.
It's a good call. Ball was down.
Will start. Am I ready for
3-yard line? So what do? Do you kick the field goal and make it a 1-possession game? If you do that, you've got to score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion to tie it.
You want to extend the game as long as you can. Take the 3 points. Keep yourself in the football game.
I think that's the right call. I don't think Aggie fans have anything to complain about there. That, from the look we had from behind, the ground caused that fumble. And here's Jason Sanders. 11 consecutive field goals. This to keep the game alive. And it's a 1-possession game. 30-5 to 30-22. What a turnaround and what a game. New Mexico is in this game. 6:11 to go. They have the last 3 scores, 17 unanswered points. They kick it away, they kick it deep, but not into the end zone. That's a great kick. And they've got New Mexico State pinned way back now at the 10. Richard McQuarley had to go get it because that was not going to land in the end zone. They didn't make the same mistake they made the last time they kicked off when they kicked it through the end zone.
You talk about touch from a quarterback. How about touch from a kicker?
Absolutely.
Pop that thing up and land it right inside the 5-yard line. Rose did what he had to do. He's got to catch the ball. If he doesn't catch it, you don't know where it's going to bounce. And you could have a turnover. So just a well executed kick.
1st and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line. Aggie offense probably didn't think they'd have to pick up another 1st down in this game. They're going to need to, with New Mexico coming back. And that's a win for the defense on 1st down. Only a gain of a couple. Clock is moving. Both teams with a full complement of 3 timeouts.
Still got some soft corners for some underneath throws.
Look into the sideline. It's dropped. Had Jonathan Boone, but Boone didn't have the football. And it's 3rd down.
How big is this play?
And the clock stops. The fans who didn't leave are making a lot of noise now. New Mexico State 6 for 16 on 3rd downs tonight. They've converted a few on 3rd and long. Pressure coming, he's hit, it's incomplete. And the Lobos will get it back, down 8.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was out of the tackle box.
Alex Hart coming from the blind side. Rogers got rid of it, but you know what that does? It stops the clock.
You've got a good return unit if you're New Mexico. I think you set up a return here. See if you can't spring one.
It's Chris Davis deep to receive the punt. New Mexico had a kick return for a touchdown called back due to a holding penalty at the end of the first half. Whistles blew. Whistles blew. No play.
Is this another delay of game?
New Mexico State only took 42 seconds off the clock on that drive.
You know, in hindsight, when they tried to slow it down that one possession, they've never recaptured the rhythm that they had throughout the game.
There is no foul for delay of game because the play clock was not reset. Please reset it to 25 seconds.
How about Bob Davie going with the redshirt freshman quarterback, benching the 3-year captain senior quarterback. And they'll set up the return. Big time punt. There'll be no return. Stay right here. What a finish we have for you on Facebook. New Mexico won the Mountain Division. Didn't get to play in the title game last season due to a tiebreaker. Down 8. Can the redshirt freshman lead him down again? That one was intended for the player of the second half so far, Jay Griffin IV, who's been the main reason, I think even ahead of the quarterback, Tuioti, as to why this New Mexico team has gotten back in this game.
This was a welcome to college football hit, though, from Javon Ferguson. The linebacker blitzing up the middle and just stroked the young quarterback.
5:14 to play. It's 2nd down and 10. New Mexico averaging over 10 yards per play this quarter. If you saw the first 3, and a lot of you did, you are blown away right now.
They're going after him.
Tuioti stays on his feet. Oh, and takes a high hit. That was close.
Popped right back up.
Pickup of 5. New Mexico State awfully fortunate that Tuioti got his helmet down just enough. 3rd and 5 in what might be 4-down territory. Still time to punt if they need to. He was bumped, but no penalty flag. I don't know that that was 5 yards down the field. That was right at the marker.
Austin Perkins getting his hand on a football, physical there.
What a stop for this New Mexico State defense.
Wow, they're going to punt it.
After giving up 3 consecutive scores, they hold here and force a punt.
You put a fake punt on your radar here. If you're New Mexico State, you got to at least put the fake punt on your radar.
You have to. And if I'm New Mexico, I'm not even trying to fake punt because I'm thinking they would be ready for it. It's not a fake. It's a boot. They'll try to pin him deep. A fair catch inside the 30-yard line. I didn't think this game was going to turn out to be as good as it has been when it was 30-5 early in the 4th quarter. Hopefully this game will be every bit as exciting late. Utah State at San Jose State in a couple weeks, September the 23rd, right here on Facebook at 7:30 Eastern Time.
San Jose State gave South Florida a little bit of a game there in week 1 before South Florida pulled away from them.
1st and 10 for New Mexico State, and again, New Mexico's got to make a big play. Movement on the line. I think Rogers wanted that snap before he got it.
Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Sage Dockstader, the left tackle, called for the false start, and already they're behind the chains. They do have the win, though, do the Aggies.
We praise this offensive line for the majority of the ball game, but now you have pressure on the last drive and a penalty to start this one.
1st and 15, Handoff up the middle. Not much doing for Larry Rose III. Shay, what's going on Facebook right now?
Hey guys, a lot of people talking about Tavaca. Michael R. Sanchez says 1 touchdown to go. Lobos freshman quarterback looks pretty good. Michael Eaton, though, has a question for you guys up there. If the Lobos freshman quarterback pulls this game out with a win, do you guys believe he has just took over the starting position within the next 2 or 3 games? What are your thoughts, guys?
I mean, if he leads them back, you got to start him next week at Boise State. 2nd and long, they set up the screen. A couple people stayed home, though. That was good for New Mexico because it'll set up a 3rd down. Nicely done. Rashawn Epting was there to stop Rose.
That's not an easy assignment in space either when you've got Larry Rose and how shifty he is.
Another 3rd and long. 6 for 17 tonight for New Mexico State. They started off a lot better than that. 3:30 to play. All day for Rogers. Short of the 1st down. Clock moves unless New Mexico wants to use one of its 3 timeouts.
And look who came up. It wasn't just Alex Hart. It was Jacob Gergel. Talk about a tale of 2 halves for him.
No kidding. And again, this New Mexico State defense stands tall. They've held New Mexico State scoreless in the 4th. And New Mexico State is letting this play clock run. I'm a bit surprised New Mexico didn't use one of its timeouts to save 40+ seconds. I think at this point you save the time.
It's a big chunk of time.
You'd still have 2 timeouts. You see that 22 there on the sideline. New Mexico fans know what that's all about. We haven't touched on it yet in the broadcast. There's 22s, 4 of them
first timeout of the half.
on the sidelines at the 22-yard line.
30-second timeout.
For Markel Byrd, Mexico fans very familiar with his heartbreaking story. In 2005, after a very successful season, died in a car accident, would have been a senior this year. And they have 22 on the field. They've
Please reset the game.
cordoned off his
2
locker,
minutes,
glassed it
44
off.
seconds.
And Chris Davis, who also shared the number 22 with Markel Byrd, changed his number when that happened. That's why Chris Davis wears the number 18. And fittingly, right now, New Mexico sitting on 22. Though they don't want to be there. Got to get to 30 to send this thing into overtime. First off,
Try and go after this punt, or looks like they're going to set up a return.
there's the boot. Last one was 52 yards, no return. This one, no return. They'll start at the 20. New Mexico has to go 80 yards and get a 2-point conversion to tie it. And I am going right back to the speedster Jay Griffin.
Just get the ball in his hands.
29 yards per touch in this game. 3 receptions, 56 yards. 1 rush, 61 yards. And the redshirt freshman, Tavaca Tuioti, has led his Lobos back.
You think when he came to the stadium today, he thought this would be in front of him?
Hey, I thought when I wrote his name down and spelled it out phonetically, there's no way I'd be saying his name tonight unless it was a blowout on the New Mexico side. Here we go. Pass tipped in the air and incomplete. Oh, boy.
That might have been a fumble. That was Cedric Wilcox got back there. Got him just as he was throwing. That was close.
And what a call here. They are going to say that was a fumble recovered by New Mexico State.
It was right as he was getting ready to release the football. It was close. Here he is coming off the left. I don't know if he tipped the ball out. It looked like his arm might have been going forward. It was a bang play.
It would be the 5th turnover of the game for New Mexico.
He hit the ball with his hand.
This is undoubtedly going to be reviewed.
This will be a better look at it right here.
You
You see him just roll right through the tackle. The ball looked like it was going forward.
That's a pass to me. Arm going forward, the ball went forward. It was deflected, but the ball caromed forward, and he was in the act of throwing.
It's close. It's close, though. I mean, he is there right as that ball just starts to go forward. He knocks it out. This is the angle that shows it. You can see his arm come forward right there. And it's a little bit. I mean, he's right there as he's rearing the ball back.
At any rate, it's a big play from Cedric Wilcox. It'll either be New Mexico State ball and maybe game over, or New Mexico will get another crack at it, and I think you need to overturn this. That arm is coming forward. That ball is coming forward. The ball lands forward of where he let it go at the 11-yard line. But remember the call on the field after they confirmed, and it took a while.
Yeah, it's moving forward.
The call on the field was a fumble recovered by New Mexico State, so it has to be conclusive. I think it is. Daniel, you think it is as well?
I think it's conclusive, but I think it's close. I don't think it's just the most obvious thing, but I do think there's enough evidence there that you can reverse it.
Bob Davie, you see in the foreground, awaiting the call from the officials. And they've already reset the chains to make it 1st and 10 New Mexico State at the 14, so they would have to go back, if they do overturn this, and go to the previous spot, which was the 20-yard line.
And look, even if it isn't a turnover, it's a heck of a rush.
After review, the quarterback's hand was moving forward. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down at the 20-yard line. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 35 seconds.
New Mexico still alive. Shay, what do you have?
Hey guys, I saw Coach Davie walk over as the refs were talking, and I heard him talking to his headset and say, hey, we got to get a 1st down. That is the main priority right now. Back to you.
A lot of times when you get in a 2-minute offense, the hardest 1st down to get is the first one. You can get in a rhythm, but you just got to get that first down.
And we've seen that from New Mexico in this 4th quarter. When they get one, they get rolling. And the freshman looking deep, has a man, it's caught. There's your 1st down, Delaney Hart-Johnson. And with 2.5 to play, it's 1st down at the 47-yard line, a pickup of 27.
That is a big-time throw. This is a hole shot. Cover 2, he's got Lomax underneath the play of the corner and squeezes it in the sideline. That's a high-difficulty throw.
Almost intercepted. That one was in the midst of Austin Perkins, the free safety, who jumped the route and almost picked it off. They were looking for Jay Griffin.
I think Lomax is beat up a little bit right now, too. He's going to have to come off the field.
Well, keep in mind, they already are without Jaden Wright, who didn't play tonight, the starting strong safety, and the defensive end who was kicked out in the early going into this game, Stody Bradley, for targeting. Jacob Wongwa hurt as well. So New Mexico picking on this battered defense that was so good for so long. It was 30-5 early in the 4th, and now New Mexico's in position to strike. Jay Griffin again.
And Jay Griffin did a nice job getting off some coverage there. Had press coverage. You see him down here in the bottom in the slot. They tried to hang him up at about 5 to 6 yards and was able to avoid and find that crease.
The running back is Ramel Jordan. Oh, he nearly got the handoff, but was pulled back by Tuioti because of the penalty.
Offense, number 74.
That's a big
5-yard
mistake.
penalty. Still 1st down.
So file this one away, Chris. We've seen Austin Perkins a minute ago dive on a route, jump a route, right? We saw it earlier in the day when New Mexico tried to jump a route. New Mexico State came right back with a double move and hit a big play. I would look for New Mexico here. Maybe you get a slant go, maybe you get a pump go, and try and go after some of the aggressiveness you saw there from Perkins.
Costly penalty. Ray Baylor III called for the false start. Bob Davie not happy. 1st and 15. Pressure coming. The freshman steps up and one hops it to his receiver. Chris Davis was the intended receiver, and it's 2nd and 15, and now you got to start thinking about a chunk of change so that you're not too far behind the sticks on 3rd and 4th.
it's absolutely 1,000% four-down territory, so you just need to get a chunk here.
Mexico still with all 3 of its timeouts, needing a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. 3 receivers left. Griffin is in the middle there to the left. And they go on the out. Nice stutter step move. Close to a first down. Rafael Hidalgo with his first action of the game. And a big play. Sets up 3rd and 2.
You can run the ball here if you want.
1:20 to go. They do indeed. It's a first down into the red zone for Ramel Jordan. And the redshirt freshman heads to the sideline. They're going to call a timeout. I don't know about this.
New Mexico.
I know what New Mexico's thinking.
Half.
It's a redshirt freshman quarterback. Let's slow it down. Let's figure out what we're going to do. But as a former Madden player, I keep all 3 timeouts in my back pocket just in case we turn it over or we score a touchdown but not the 2-point conversion, so you still have a life if something goes wrong.
You can extend the game a little bit. But I think, look, you've got to score here, and you know your young quarterback, and you want to get him composed and talk through maybe a sequence of plays here. Not only what do we want to do here on first down, but what do you like if we're a little bit short of the end zone here? 2nd down options, 3rd down options, as well as getting some feedback from your young quarterback. What do you like here? What are you comfortable with?
Speaking of feedback, what do you guys think on Facebook, guys and gals? Oh boy, what a game. I'm sure some of you tuned out and then tuned back in when you heard that the freshman Tevaka Tuioti was leading his team back. New Mexico with 17 unanswered points here in the 4th quarter. It was 30-5 to start the quarter. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. It's caught for a touchdown, and it's Jay Griffin. But remember, you need the 2. You know, the coaches are jumping out saying, hang on, guys, and maybe they call another timeout to set it up.
How about redshirt freshman quarterback to redshirt freshman receiver? And that's been the combination that has got them right back in this game with an opportunity to tie it.
Jay Griffin the 4th, the grandson of Jay Griffin the 2nd, who played football at Southern. And now Tevaka Tuioti leads his team out for a 2-point conversion that could tie this game improbably with 1:11 to play.
And if you flip it over to New Mexico State, as bad as this 4th quarter has been, if you can get 1 stop right here, you can still get out of here with a win.
McQuarley, the running back, to the right. Jordan, the running back, to the left.
Timeout. New Mexico State. That's their 2nd timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout by New Mexico State as we take a look at the touchdown that set up New Mexico for this 2-point conversion in a would-be tie game.
How about Jaleel Scott's touchdown earlier? Put the big, tall, athletic receiver in the slot. Let him run a corner route. We saw the exact same. He saw him win. He thought he had leverage in the slot, which he did, but he did not see Ferguson drop out of there.
Shay didn't leave. Her mic's just out. That's all. She's down there.
Well, you know what's coming right now.
Onside kick. And if New Mexico can get it, a field goal would win it. And they have one of the best kickers in the nation. Jason Sanders has made 12 straight.
Hey guys, I'm back. Hello. No, I did not leave. My microphone just went out for a little bit, but here I am back on the sidelines. Guys, the stadium, this crowd is going insane despite what just happened on that 2-point conversion. But you know what? There's still some football left to be played, just over a minute. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you're commenting. I will have the winning coach at the end of the game. Send us your questions. Back to you guys.
And here comes the onside kick from Jason Sanders, who flips it around the other way. He was looking right at first, now back to the left, and that forces a timeout from New Mexico State. And now a little practice. I like it. He practiced off the tee after the timeout. That's like, you know, basketball. They call the timeout. The guy shoots the three. This is fun, isn't it? And even if they don't get this onside, they would still have an opportunity to get the ball back. Not 3 timeouts like I would have hoped for. I would have kept that one. But 2 timeouts, so they would have a chance. They wouldn't have much time if they stop them 3 straight, assuming New Mexico State runs the ball. But first things first, the onside kick. Jason Sanders, the great kicker. How good is he at onsides? He had a practice kick. Did he learn something?
You have Jaleel, looks like Jaleel Scott down here. So they're going to go away from him.
I would go away from him too. They do. That didn't work. Nicely done by New Mexico State, and it's Kramer coming up with it. But again, it's not over. With 2 timeouts, New Mexico, even if New Mexico State runs it 3 straight times, could get the ball back.
Quirky game, huh?
Say that again. 2 failed 2-point conversions for New Mexico.
Well, how about the blocked kick and the return where they wouldn't even have been in that situation?
There's no chance of throwing it, right? No. And that should ice it. Larry Rose III may have put this one on ice.
Larry Rose, again, 260 yards a couple years ago, but none as big as these.
Clock running. 50 seconds to go, about a 32-second difference. And New Mexico's not going to get a chance here. If I'm New Mexico State, I'm kneeling. That's all you have to do at this point. You do not even need to run the ball right now. Rose does it anyway, and comes close to a first down. New Mexico calls a timeout, but again, why run it? Why risk it? Take a look back at the 2-point conversion that could have tied the game for New Mexico.
So he bluffed. When you see it again, you can really see the linebacker there. Did a nice job. Ferguson bluffed like he was going to blitz. You see number 7, watch him come downhill, and then watch him retreat in the passing lane.
And he couldn't see him.
Quarterback did not account for him. The receiver had his man beat. He never saw Ferguson drop at him.
What a play for the 6'1" junior Javon Ferguson. And what could have been for New Mexico. What a comeback though for the Lobos. Incredible. They were dead. 30-5 with 13 minutes to go in this game.
How about both these programs haven't finished with a winning record in the same year since 1978? I think there's a chance it could happen this year with these 2 teams.
I think you might be right, Daniel. And again, in the shotgun, I can't imagine they would run another play from scrimmage and not kneel it. Although if you can't convert PATs, maybe you're worried about your kneel team too. It's a handoff. And I'm letting him go if I'm New Mexico. Because had he scored, it'd be an 8-point game. You block the PAT and you're still in it. Now it's over. Rose sealing the deal. Bob Davie, what a coaching job he did in this 4th quarter, bringing his team back and had them in position to tie it up. Wow.
If you're a New Mexico fan, you might have lost a football game. You might have found a quarterback.
And that'll be it if New Mexico does not use its final timeout. The Aggies pointing to their contingent of fans over there behind their bench. They've done it again. Back-to-back wins for the New Mexico State Aggies over their bitter rivals from Albuquerque. Doug Martin only has 11 wins in his 5th season at New Mexico State. 2 of them against these Lobos. And what a big win it is, getting the Gatorade bath. He said it He was making no bones about it. This is a huge game for us, and this year it's even bigger than usual.
He's walking off the field with his wife. How cool is that? What a great game. I mean, thought we might have a blowout on our hands, turned into a barn burner.
Credit to the Lobos for not giving up. Credit to New Mexico State for making the play when it needed to.
Just a terrible fourth quarter for New Mexico State, but it came down to one play, and when they had that one opportunity, that last opportunity, Javon Ferguson made it count.
You get outscored 23-0 in the fourth quarter, and you win.
How about that?
Whew. And now the Aggies heading over to their band and their fans who have made the trip up from Las Cruces. And the winning coach, Doug Martin, is with Shea Pepler.
Well, Coach, they bring in the redshirt freshman quarterback in the second half. How do you think that threw your defense for a loop, if it did at all?
He's just a great player, and they've got a great team. They were a 9-win team a year ago. We didn't finish the game very well offensively, but it's what a rival game should be. And our guys, I give our guys all the credit. They played their hearts out tonight.
Well, speaking of a rival game, you win it back-to-back years. What does that mean for your program?
It's a step. It's a step for our program. We still got a long way to go, but we're so much better than we were. We've got a chance to win week in and week out right now if our kids will keep fighting like they are right now.
You said there are some things you want to fix. What are those things?
Well, offensively we have to learn how to finish games. We dropped some passes and tipped the ball up for an interception that, would have been a first down that could have ended the game for us. So offensively, we certainly got to finish better than we did tonight.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations on the win. We appreciate it. It was an exciting one. All right, guys, I'm going to send it back up to you. Thank you, everyone on Facebook, for your comments and for joining us throughout this broadcast. It was a fun one from the Rio Grande Rivalry here in Albuquerque. Back up to you, Chris.
Shea, thanks. I thought when you were interviewing DeAndre Jordan, whose brother plays for the Lobos, that he was nuts when he said he felt they were still in this game. It was 30-11 with about 10 minutes to go. Well, they were. They came back, cut it to 2, but a 2-point conversion batted away by New Mexico State, and the Aggies have won it.
If you're the Aggies, the only thing sweeter than celebrating a win over your rival is doing it on their field.
Oh, boy. And I don't know if the Aggies brought their own fireworks or what. They turned the lights off, the fireworks are going off, and Tyler Rogers was a firecracker in this game. Over 400 passing yards and 4 touchdowns for the Aggies.
Yeah, almost 800 yards in 2 games there for Tyler Rogers. And look, the defense faltered in the fourth quarter, but for the first 3 quarters, the Aggie defense was the story of this football game.
We welcome you back up to the booth, Daniel Jeremiah and Chris Hassel. Shea Pepler did a great job down on the field tonight, tracking things down. We stuck with it, and we got ourselves a game that we thought we were going to get at the outset, a competitive game that would come down to the wire. Didn't think we would see it like this, but we got it, didn't we? That was fun.
Yeah, we saw some big hits. We saw some big plays. We saw a big comeback. The game started, we had a little bit of rain. We should have known something was up. We had all kinds of wind. Yeah, this game had everything.
New Mexico State is a team that should be formidable in the Sun Belt. They can score points, and the Sun Belt's not the SEC or the Mountain West for that matter.
No, they're in great shape to, contend and possibly get into a bowl game. You mentioned it during the broadcast. It's been a very long time since this football team's played in the postseason. They've got a good outfit this year.
Thursday night at Boise State. Who's the starting quarterback for New Mexico?
I'll tell you what, it'd be hard to take the freshman out. With what he did tonight, I know you've got a senior 3-time captain, but the way they threw the ball, the way they moved the football when they made the switch, I would expect to see him at Boise State.
This was a heck of a lot of fun. We saw a redshirt freshman quarterback come in and nearly lead the comeback of the ages for the New Mexico Lobos, but in the end, Lobo Louie is going home a loser for the 2nd straight year. The New Mexico State Aggies, a 1-point win in 2016, a 2-point win in 2017. We had a little bit of everything tonight. We'll see you in a couple weeks from San Jose State. The New Mexico State Aggies, the kings of New Mexico. Thanks for watching, everybody.